with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are going to bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 865-250-503 is our telephone number. That is the number to the B-Dry waterproofing hotline. I know that hotline will be busy today. Ben McKee, Brad Matthews, Jason Swain here, 850 AM, 100.9 FM, WKVL Sports Radio. Streaming online at SwainEvent.com. Download the free Swain Event app for Android, Apple devices. Also, you can check us out, Swain Event TV for Periscope, Facebook Live, and on YouTube. Monday morning after a football game. It's either going to be really, really, really bad or really, really, really good. And to be honest, guys, I was expecting for today to be really good. Did not expect for Tennessee to drop their first game of the season to Georgia State. But here we are. Here we are. Ben, Brad, good morning, individuals.
Good morning, Jason Swain and Brad Matthews. My two favorite married men in the world. Is this where I am supposed to go on a rant about how we should start Brian Maurer, JT Stroud, and fire Jeremy Pruitt? Am I supposed to start that now?
Hey man, that's how you feeling. That's how you feeling. This is the day of letting those emotions flow, and folks feeling, saying what they feel, and obviously there's a lot of pride inside the University of Tennessee for our fans, and we did not see that pride on the football field on Saturday. But when you care about something as much as our fans care about something, as much as our foreign players care, sometimes there's going to be things that you say, maybe you mean, maybe you don't mean, and we certainly understand that. I think a lot of that was going on over the weekend, and rightfully so. What we saw on Saturday was absolutely unacceptable. It was embarrassing. It was despicable. It was a sad sight for Tennessee football. In year 2 of the Jeremy Pruitt era, in the back half of this decade, we are still fighting the same issues that we have fought 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And that is effort. That is effort, number one. Number two, that is preparation. And it's easy to look at one player. It's easy to look at one side of the football. But for me, and I watch the game differently than others. I'm my own person. But I do respect everyone's opinion. I do. But I saw things Saturday, that you should never see from a team playing in their first game of the season after failing to go to a bowl game the year before. We should never see that. And we saw that on Saturday. Andy's on the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. We'll get Andy in here, and then we'll talk about this football game. And I'm not going to break things and yell and scream. I'm just going to call like I see it. And it ain't personal. You don't have to email me saying your feelings was hurt, because I'm going to delete it. You don't have to send in stuff on text box, because I'm going to ignore it. It ain't personal. It ain't personal. I'm simply going to share what I saw on Saturday. There's no agenda. I'm just going to show you what I saw. The sad thing about Saturday is I watched the game without emotion. The sad thing about Saturday, I did not have a reaction after the game. I was not surprised after the game. I was surprised in the first half, But after the game, when I saw 60 minutes of the same thing, I wasn't surprised. But I was surprised in the first half. I was surprised after the first quarter. Let's get to Andy first. Andy, good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing this morning?
We good, Andy. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah, Saturday wasn't that great, but I did see some positive things.
What'd you see, Andy?
Henry To'o, I can tell is going to be one nasty kid by the end of his 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Gray, mad respect for that kid to make positive out of nothing. I mean, you think, oh, God, they got him. And then he jitters to the left or the right, and it's just gone. But, yeah, I still don't understand. I don't know. Something maybe tells me, a couple of the freshman O-linemen, they were nasty in high school. Like Darnell, he was probably bigger than probably every other kid that he ever faced upon. Wanye, same way. Now they're in the SEC. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how to explain it or say it, but they know now what they got to do. And I feel like Pruitt will turn this thing around by Saturday. And I hope we see a different team than what we've seen Saturday. Now, the good part about it is Lanice Whitehead said that what happened Saturday was not going to bundle into his decision, that he seemed positive, that he loved the way the fan base was and how they supported. I think things will be different. If not, it's going to be a long season. I better go get a lot more Hennessy because I'm going to need it.
That's true. That's
Turn
true.
up, Andy.
That's true, Andy. You'll need some more Hennessy.
I trust Pruitt and I trust Philip Fulmer. I don't see Jeremy Pruitt failing. I just don't. I mean, this man really, he just can't fail. He has nothing left to do. It's like what his dad said, all his sons are coaches. He didn't want them to be coaches, but that's what they chose. So I feel Pruitt will fix, if there's something wrong in the coordinator, I feel he'll fix it.
Andy, thanks, man. Thanks for the phone call. Andy's super positive, and I appreciate that. And Andy, Pruitt failed on Saturday. Now, long term, for Tennessee, he can't fail because Tennessee is in no position for a head coach to fail. You're still paying Butch Jones. You failed with Derek Dooley. Lane Kiffin didn't work out. We need Pruitt to be successful. But on Saturday, he failed. He failed to have his team prepared. He failed to make the next step as an in-game coach. He's still having trouble knowing when to coach guys on the sideline, knowing when to be a head coach. The adjustments in the second half were non-existent. First drive from Georgia State in the second half was actually worse than the first half. So we need Pruitt to be successful, but he was not on Saturday. He was bad like everyone else was, except for Jawan Jennings and Brent Samaglia. Samaglia was 3 for 3. Hit a career long, 48 points, right down the middle.
At the Tiger Woods fist pump?
Yeah, I mean, Jawan Jennings came ready to play. I mean, Jawan has had so many injuries. You can just tell how many injuries he's had by watching him run. You can just tell. I can tell. He ain't the same player as he was as a freshman or as a sophomore when he didn't have the surgeries. But he's out there giving his all. How can you be a player in this team and look Trey Smith in his eyes? I said it. How can you be a player in this team and watch yourself loaf, jog, walk, stop during a play, how do you look number 73 in the eyes? The young man had to stop playing football last year because we were afraid that he was going to die on the football field because of a condition. Trey Smith has done everything in his power to play football at the University of Tennessee. Trey Smith could have walked away from the game and gotten a plush opportunity. He's an in-state kid. He does everything right. He would have been set up with a great opportunity to be successful moving forward without football. But he put all of that to the side. He's crisscrossed the country to see specialists, to play football, to play the game he loves, to put his body on the line, to put his life on the line for Tennessee football. And teammates, this is how you repay him? This is how you repay him? Loafing, jogging, no fire, no intensity, quitting. If I'm Trey Smith, I might put my hands on somebody in a players only meeting. If there's not a players only meeting that took place yesterday, it needs to be one today. Before class, during class, it needs to happen. A players only meeting. Now the coaches, they wasn't great in a lot of areas, but this ain't about the coaches if you are a player. This is about you. How can you look Trey Smith in the eyes? 865-255-03 B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. We'll take our first break of the day. Come back after this. Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America, 865-255-03. Let's go back to the phones, and let's bring in Don. Don, good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
Well, Pruitt was right about one thing. Sun did come up. Did make me feel much better. Yeah, the players have just a loser mentality. They have no energy. When we got that illegal participation penalty, because 97 was walking off the field, which helped keep them a drive alive for a touchdown, that was probably, I was already fit to be tied, but I was really fit to be tied at that point. It has been, I can't remember, I guess 97, the last time I saw a team with any fight whatsoever over there. Kiffin's year, I'm sorry.
97 was the last year you saw a team with fight?
Yeah, for a whole season. Now, we had some highlights in 15 and 16, but even though I'm no Kiffin fan, I mean, he can take a couple of walk-ons and have a better line than we can have with 3, 4, 5 stars, a bunch of 4 stars, and it doesn't seem to matter how many coaching stats we get. It's the same junk. We wouldn't even be we'd be a little happier because we wouldn't have the worst loss in history of the university on the record. But if we'd have squeezed out a win Saturday by 1, 2, 3 points, we wouldn't be a lot happier than we are today. I just, Mac Brown goes to North Carolina, won 2 games last year, and knocks off South Carolina Saturday, something we haven't done in 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty disgusting. I mean, poor old Mac's old guy, they drag him out of retirement and have his rocking chair, and he goes out and puts together a team that can do that. But on the other hand, where I really blame the coaches on the thing, that I didn't never play college football at the University of Tennessee like you did, but I played enough football my whole life that I know a team that's prepared and one that's not.
Mm-hmm.
We are paying just about the highest paid staff in America, and I'm trying to find one of them that done their job other than maybe the special teams coach as far as getting their players prepared. And it's pretty bad that outside of Jawan Jennings, the only one that I saw show any inspiration at all, Brent Smaglia. He makes a field goal. He ropes off, jerks his chin strap out because he's mad about what's been going on around him.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's about as good as it gets. Now, you asked a question of your teammate there about this the day that, no, it might have been him, one of y'all said it, about firing the coach and replacing JG. Well, we're not going to be firing the coach. I mean, it's really going to have to be bad. But you're about going to have to force him to hate it so bad he'd leave on his own. But I think the JG experiment's over. I know people's going to point out his stats. Bottom line is, I don't see whatever the it factor is, he ain't got it. So might as well try Maurer or somebody. Missouri loses Saturday night to Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
Their transfer quarterback plays even better than JG. He's got 4 touchdowns, 400-something yards. He lost. The Wyoming quarterback passed for less than 100 yards. They won because they have what it takes, just like Georgia State did. They have what it took. Players cared. The coaches cared. You've been around there. You've seen. I don't know. We don't practice right. We don't practice hard. We don't hit or whatever because I'm not at practice. Certainly not at scrimmage. Did you see any want to out of anybody, including the coaching staff, Saturday night?
No, not Saturday.
Nope.
No, not enough. Not enough, Don. And
what's going to happen next Saturday? Are we going to have any want to? We're going to have any fight, or are we just going to pussyfoot around again?
Well, I think that you'll see a different football team as far as energy. I think you will, but I don't know if the results will be different as far as the score and if Tennessee's going to win. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a different approach this week in practice. And Don, thanks so much for the phone call. I appreciate it. I know that when you have a head coach, when you have a quarterback, those guys are going to get most of the credit, most of the blame. And Jared was not good on Saturday. I don't care what the stats say. I don't care if he threw for 311 yards. I don't care. He was not good. And here's a good thing about, like, little kids. Here's a cool thing about little kids. Little kids will tell you the truth. I'll give you an example. I'm at the house. I pay bills here, right? So I think I have the freedom to walk around with my shirt off, right? You walk around with your shirt off at your house, right, Brad?
Absolutely.
Ben, what about you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to make you a sandwich in the middle of the night, you want to, get you a cup of water in the middle of the night, you can do that in just your drawers if you want to, right? Right?
Birthday suit, fam.
That's right. I don't know about all that. But, hey, if you want to do that, you go for it. But, if I feel like it, I'll walk around in my drawers. That's it. Sometimes I walk around shorts, no shirt. Kids will not lie to you. Here's my kids, especially my youngest one. Ooh, daddy. Ooh, ugh, yuck, daddy. Put the shirt back on. Golly, just honest. Kids don't lie. Well, 18, 19, 20, 20-year-olds, they don't lie either. Because the players were asked after the game about what happened, and these comments
Very telling.
are not great.
Yeah, very telling.
Starting with the quarterback. I personally like Jared Garantano. I think he's tough. I think he represents Tennessee in the right way. But this comment was not great to me. On his assessment of how he played, not good, not too bad. I definitely put the weight on my shoulders when it comes to wins and losses. We definitely could have played better. I have no problem with him saying you put the game on his shoulders, the weight on his shoulders. That's cool. I could have made more plays. I think there's a lot of things that we can learn from this game. They did a really good job of disguising things. They did everything that we didn't see on tape. So he just told on us not being able to make adjustments and not being prepared as well as we could have from a coaching standpoint. They played very well. They played very aggressively, and we were not expecting the things that they were showing. I think they just got the best of us today. It's one thing for Georgia State to throw out some things that you have not seen because it's the first game of the season, but that was the case for 60 minutes. That's a problem. That's Jared just being honest. He's not sugarcoating anything or trying to protect anyone. He's just answering the question. You can't cover for the coaches on this one. You can't cover for anyone else. They were not prepared like they should have been. Jared feels like he didn't play too bad and not too good, and he didn't play good. He didn't play good at all. He actually played bad, in my opinion. You look at the Oklahoma game, guys. I don't know if you watched it yesterday, but I turned to it a little bit. I didn't watch all of it, but I think I watched the most important part of the Oklahoma game. That was the interview with Holly Rowe. And Holly Rowe asked Jalen Hurts about his play. The dude had just broke an Oklahoma quarterback school record.
Set career highs for himself.
At Oklahoma. You know how many great quarterbacks they've had at Oklahoma? How many Heisman Trophy winners they've had at Oklahoma?
The last two.
Jason White, Sam Bradford. They've had great quarterbacks. And Jalen Hurts, a quarterback that was labeled as someone who can't throw, who transferred from Alabama because Tua took over, goes out and lights the world on fire his first game of the year. He's not even happy. He's like, We gotta get better. I gotta go talk to my guys. This not gonna work. We gotta get better. I gotta get better. Jalen came from Alabama where the expectation was to win every game. They had a level of excellence. There's a standard. And some of it's not Jared's fault. He just doesn't understand what great is. He just doesn't. He don't know. Look at some of these other comments from Darrell Taylor on how he would describe the game. I say it's an eye opener. It makes us realize that no one's going to come out on the field and just give us the game. I think it's a wake-up call.
Really? And how about Nigel Warrior's comments, if you have those with you?
I got them right here.
How is it an eye opener when you played? Darrell Taylor is a fifth-year senior, sat through the entire Butch Jones era, played through the 2017 season when they lost a program record 8 games in 1 year. Was the first time Tennessee has ever gone 4-8 in a season. Darrell Taylor was on that team. And then on top of that, last year, you really only showed up against Georgia and Kentucky and were nowhere to be found the rest of the season, which was why I was not buying into the Darrell Taylor hype. And then on top of that, the last 2 games of 2018, the Missouri game and the Vanderbilt game, were terrible football games and terrible performances in terms of effort. Exactly. Your eyes should be wide open after the Missouri and the Vanderbilt game. Honestly, your eyes should have been wide open after the 2017 football season when your head coach got fired. And the culture was terrible then. The performance as a team was terrible then. You had terrible losses that year. Do we need to go back and look at that Vanderbilt home loss?
These are from your older guys.
Yes.
These are from 2 of your guys who went down to Birmingham to represent Tennessee. And it makes me think about Jalen Hurts' comments. Like, Jalen Hurts knows. He gets it. Our guys, they just don't get it. They don't understand what it means to play at a high level. They don't understand the expectation. Najee Warrior, and man, bless his heart, he was asked if he thinks both teams had necessary heart to win today's football game or Saturday's football game. Nigel said, of course. They came out and they played like they were supposed to play. They came out and played like a football team. We came out and played like a football team also. They just held it a bit longer. They wanted it a bit more than we did, and it showed. And again, I like Nigel. But what he just said was that his team didn't show the necessary heart. Because if you can admit that the other team wanted it more, you're just admitting that they had more heart than you.
Yep.
On what Georgia State was doing offensively, and if it was surprising, here is a young man telling you the truth. Again, little kids, they'll tell you, they'll innocently tell you what they feel. They'll tell you the truth. Here's Nigel telling the truth. It wasn't surprising at all. Like I said, we've seen every play, every alignment, everything all week. The coaches couldn't do anything else. They put us in great position. Like I said, it comes down to execution. The coaches came, and they gave us the right game plan. We've seen everything they did today. Nothing was new. But wait a minute.
Right there.
But wait a minute. We have other players saying that they need to watch more film. They should have watched more film.
The coaches had us lined up. More than half of your plays on defense yesterday, you were confused. There were more than 5-6 individuals looking around, trying to figure out what defense we were in, what protection. What are you going to do after the ball is snapped? We had guys running onto the field late, never set, never ready, and this is supposed to be a coaching staff that are full of defensive specialists, especially in the secondary where you have veteran leadership returning. I didn't see any drop of that on Saturday. Not only talking about the opponent, you look at Georgia State, even with how far they've come, it's not even about the opponent right now. You look at Tennessee, orange and white on tape, they had no idea what they were doing on defense. They were lost. That's the last thing I expected to see on Saturday. Confusion, loss. Nobody had any clue what to do except for maybe 2-3 guys, and they can't communicate it to everybody before this no-huddle, up-tempo offense is already coming downhill at you again.
You know how you lose 38-30 to a team like Georgia State? Is when you don't do anything well, except for kicking field goals or, one player doing something or another player doing something. It has to be bad across the board for you to lose Georgia State. Like, you can play a good game on offense against a better team, but an okay game on defense and still lose the game. You can play a good game on defense and an okay game on offense and still lose the game against a better football team. But to lose to a team like Georgia State, that means everybody, not only are they're messing up their assignments, but they're failing to put forth the effort necessary to win. You have everything from the top to the bottom in question when you lose games like this. 865-250-503, B-Dry Waterproof Hotline. Kids will tell you the truth. Kids will tell you the truth. And our players, after the game, they told us the truth. They did. They don't know. They don't know what they don't know. How do we get them to understand how you're supposed to play SEC football and Tennessee football? I don't have that answer. 865-250-503. Be right back.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today. We all know that Vol Nation is all over the country. Traveling to games is a fun time for the entire family, but deciding where to stay can be a bit stressful. That's where the Big Orange Faithful at the Hampton Inn downtown come in. General Manager Stephen Lawrence and his team go over and beyond to make sure that you have the best stay in their brand new rooms. They have the cleanest rooms in the game, which include flat screen, microwave, and fridge. Not to mention breakfast is included in the room rate. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the best part. The Hampton Inn downtown is less than a mile from Neyland Stadium. While you're planning your game day trips, be sure to check out Hampton Inn online at hamptoninn.com and search Knoxville. Book Hampton Inn downtown today.
Craving flavors that don't take hours in the kitchen? Mrs. Grissom's cheese spreads and chicken salads are the perfect go-to. Ready-to-eat meals and snacks found in the meat or dairy section at your local grocery store. Whether you crave the classic Mrs. Grissom's pimento cheese or the gluten-free select varieties like the cranberry pecan chicken salad, enjoy small-town flavor in every bite. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom's.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
And you know this, man.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hour 1 is powered by Hiller, plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. Let's get to the Be-Dry Waterproof Hotline. Let's bring in Jay. Jay, good morning.
Hey, Swain.
Yo.
Is there a transfer portal for fans?
There is actually. There's a Twitter account.
Yeah.
That is called the Fan Transfer Portal, and it has a Tennessee logo on it.
My God.
All I know is my Army Black Knights won on Friday night.
Well, thank God.
I'm kidding.
No, you're not. You dead serious. And it's okay. I'm not going to judge you. Like, I'm not judging anybody, honestly, right now. I haven't all weekend. I mean, you should be disgusted if you're a fan. You should be disgusted. There's no excuses.
Swain, guys, I keep wondering, like, when is this nightmare that's been the last 11 years, like, when's it going to be over? Like, are we just going to wake up and this was all a bad dream, or
I hope.
It seems like it just keeps getting worse. Let's stop saying that we've hit rock bottom, because we've said, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. It can get worse than this, and Tennessee will probably do it because it's Tennessee, and it's like it's never ending. We've had multiple coaches. I mean, we've got the highest paid coaching staff that we have ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And on paper, it looks to be, or what should be, the best coaching staff we've had since the Philip Fulmer era.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't look like we can even tie our own shoes.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not asking a lot here. I just like to look like a functioning football team. I would like to look better than a lot of the programs who don't have half the resources, half the facilities, half the tradition, half of anything, but still seem to look and function as a far superior program than us. I don't know how this is happening. We are so far from being relevant, it's not even funny. Last year, when you talk about SEC scoring, for example, Alabama was at plus like 262. Tennessee was at minus 127. We were third to last, and the team ahead of us was Vanderbilt, which was minus 27. So Vanderbilt was 100 points better than us last year in SEC games. That's how far we have fallen. And, Darrell Taylor's out here talking about, well, this was a wake-up call for us. Hey, buddy, was the last 3 games against Vanderbilt not a wake-up call?
Should have been woke the whole offseason.
Yeah.
Exactly. Was Missouri not beating us by 30-something points the last 2 years not a wake-up call? And it just makes me wonder. I mean, Swain, guys, I don't know what y'all feel like, but this is the kind of loss, an all-time historic loss, that it could start a sort of snowball effect where Pruitt just can't recover.
Yep, got to be BYU though.
He just can't recover from it.
No, you're right. He has to beat BYU. I mean,
he has to.
He has to.
I hate to say this, Swain, because I think y'all all know, the last thing we need is another coaching search.
Correct.
The last thing we need is another coach. I'm Jeremy Pruitt's biggest fan because I want him to work out here because it's what's best for our program. But if he loses to BYU, I don't know how he recovers. I really don't. And I hate to say that because once you become, as you know, Swain, quote unquote, like toxic or radioactive, especially in recruiting, there's nothing. I mean, you can't get it back. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Jay, good stuff, man. Thank you. Thanks so much for the phone call. I've met Pruitt for a total of 5 seconds. That's the only time I've talked to Pruitt. I like Jeremy Pruitt. I really do. But Jay is right. You can't lose to BYU. You have to beat BYU. If you beat BYU, okay, all right. Now you can do something. Michigan lost to Appy State in 2007. Went on. They won 9 games. But that was a top 5 team when they played Appy State. Here's the thing that stinks, man. I'll get to you. I thought that Tennessee would be talked about later on in the day of other football games as being a team that got upset by Georgia State. They mentioned it in passing. Kirk Herbstreit just gave credit to Georgia State and kept it moving. You know why? Because Jay is right. We are not relevant enough to get that conversation. You didn't see anything at the bottom of the ticker. Breaking news, Tennessee falls to Georgia State. It was business as usual.
It ran, but it didn't run throughout the day.
Yeah, I saw it on a lot of like halftime graphics because it stood out more than anything because it said Rocky Flop. I saw that on the upcoming, because you know how when they 3 to 4 minutes left before halftime and they go to the studio and the guy kind of tells you what is coming up at halftime, what they are going to talk about, and they have like 3 little bullet points. The middle one was Rocky Flop. I saw that all day.
It wasn't like upset, though. It was like, what a laughing stock.
Yes.
It just keeps going south for Tennessee.
Yes, and I'm so sick and tired of this football team being bad because I love the University of Tennessee, and the football program is putting a black eye on the university. Now, all of East Tennessee, all of Knoxville, and the entire University of Tennessee brand is a laughing stock because of how the football team has been the last 10 years, and I'm sick and tired of it. That's a separate point. To your point about having to beat BYU, I agree with you. Nathaniel Rutherford and I were talking on Saturday night after the game, and how would we feel after the BYU win? Obviously, we would feel good about them winning, but in the sense of, are we going to feel better? And my response was, I'm going to be even madder if we beat BYU, because then I'm going to look back at the Georgia State game and think, what in the world were you doing? We could be 2-0 right now with a win over a good BYU football team. I know they didn't look good against Utah, but I think that had more to do with Utah being a legitimate playoff contender than BYU just looking bad, because if you go back and watch the first half, BYU looked like the better football team in that first half of the game, in my opinion. So I'm going to be even more mad. I'll be 10 times more mad if Tennessee comes out and beats BYU, because I look back at the Georgia State game and think, we had a golden opportunity. We could be 2-0, 3-0 going into the Florida game, and instead now we're 1-1 with just so frustrating.
A day full of energy, emotion, and yet you look back at this Tennessee team against Georgia State. When did you see that energy? When did you see that emotion? It was after, and this drives me nuts, what grinds my gears, Swain. Ben, I get a tip pass, deflection pass, breakup. I'm going to throw my hands up in the air. I'm going to get a fist pump. I'm going to beat my chest. I'm not going to act like I've been there before. I'm not going to look at the scoreboard and realize we're down 2 possessions to Florida or to Georgia State. I'm going to pump up myself because I tipped that ball. I made this tackle. I hit you hard. Look at me. Pound my chest. Nobody's looking at that. That's embarrassing where the state of this program is to be acting like that. And the fact that you don't have coaches ripping them, pulling them to the sideline and giving them an earful for not knowing and having the awareness of the situation. You're not playing Florida. It's not a tie ball game in the 4th, and you just stopped them on 3rd down and short with a big hit in the backfield. You are trailing Georgia State, and you are beating your chest after a tipped pass. Who are you? What are we doing? What is this culture? That's why I'm frustrated.
Let's get back to the phones this morning, 865-255-03, and Daniel is up next. Daniel, good morning.
How you doing, Jason? This is Daniel from South Carolina.
Hey, Daniel.
My issue with it is we didn't play good on Saturday. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was just I drove up, have to get a hotel room and everything, just like I will next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I'm part of this fan base. I love Tennessee. I've been a Tennessee fan since the early 90s. I was about 12, 13 years old. The fans have a right to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
But going on Twitter, tagging players, to me, that these are still young men doing things that these people tagging them can't do.
Correct. Yeah.
So you out here downing players, but you can't even get on the field. You sitting at home watching it, drinking, doing whatever you want to do. You live in Knoxville, but you cannot even make it over to the game. But you want to down a player? If you can't drive from Knoxville over to the stadium, then don't down a player. Don't be out here fussing if you can't put the effort in. I drive from South Carolina up there, get a hotel room. It costs me $200-300 a weekend just to come up there. And then you got people who live in Knoxville that say, well, I'm not going to the game. Well, then don't put your input in it. Yeah, we look bad. But don't sit there and down the players if you can't even get off your couch and drive 5-10 miles over there and pay $40 for a ticket.
Agreed.
To me, that's ridiculous. Like I said, I drive from South Carolina. I got my room booked for next weekend. I've been a Tennessee fan. I missed a few years due to a deployment to Iraq. Couldn't watch it. But other than that, I've been a Tennessee fan ever since. And to me, the game was bad. The game was horrible. I sat there. My wife's a Carolina fan. I'm getting laughed at the whole game. I still sat there. But when I get on Twitter, it makes me so mad that I want to say something to some of these people, but my wife tells me it's not nice to. So.
Well, Daniel, number one, thank you for your service and your sacrifice. That's first and foremost, the most important thing of the phone call. I agree with you and disagree with you. I agree with you that our fans should not be tweeting our players. All you're doing is throwing gas on the fire, and you're making it look really bad in recruiting. You're not helping the situation. You're making it worse. You shouldn't be tweeting at players, and you shouldn't be tweeting at recruits, and you shouldn't be going back and forth with recruits' parents. Those are idiotic moves, okay? Here's where I disagree with Daniel. A Tennessee fan has a right to not go and watch what they watch on Saturday. A Tennessee fan has a right to not want to support this football program until they see signs of improvement. That's their right. And it's pretty understandable why someone right here in Knoxville will say, you know what, I'm not even driving 5 minutes to go watch that. I totally understand, to be honest. Why should you? Why should you? If you want to, hey, that's your business. That's your prerogative. You have that right. But I'm not going to judge anyone who doesn't want to watch that stuff up close and personal. Now, I applaud Daniel for still coming, still going to the games. That's very commendable on Daniel's part as a fan. But I'm not going to sit here and look down on a fan for not wanting to come to the game. Now, Daniel is right though. Please don't tweet the players.
Please.
It don't help. It don't help. They know they didn't play well. They know their effort was stinky. They'll hear about that.
Is it sad that based off of comments after the game and what we saw on the field that I don't know if the players think they didn't play well?
They know.
I hope so.
They may know now, but I know where he's coming from.
They know. I'm pretty sure after the game in the locker room,
I was leaving the stadium. Players were going back to their apartments, their dorms. They were smiling.
How many players?
A handful.
Because we can't make comments like Don, who said he hasn't seen effort since 1997. Like
I'm not making that.
We can't do that. That's just ridiculous. Okay?
I'm not disrespecting you and your teammates.
Okay,
But there were a handful of guys I saw after the stadium, or outside of the stadium after the game, and a couple of them were key starters.
All right.
That were just smiling and whatnot.
That's a problem. That's
Looking
a problem.
forward to the night activities.
That's a problem. All right, let's go back to the phones. Caller Pace.
I think we have Turkey Man.
Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, individuals.
Good morning.
Turkey Man.
Hey, I'm going to say one little thing here. I
Okay.
don't think we have to worry about Coach Pruitt going to Alabama. You know, I've heard that ever since he come. Worried about him being stole by Alabama. I didn't see nothing they want still there Saturday. Have a good one, guys.
You said Pruitt, Alabama. What about Pruitt, Alabama?
Just happy that we stole him away.
What did you say about Pruitt, Alabama? I didn't understand, Turkey Man.
I've heard ever since he come about time he Satan leaves Alabama that Pruitt goes our head coach. I didn't see that.
We ain't got to worry about that right now, Turkey Man.
We definitely don't have to worry about that.
No, I mean, if Pruitt goes back to Alabama, it's going to be his defensive coordinator or position coach.
Or GA.
No, I don't think he's going to be a GA. But, you know, Pruitt needs to be a better head coach, period, if he's going to get another opportunity.
And I'm confident he knows that.
That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
So that's the last thing that we should be thinking about is losing Pruitt to Alabama. He got to be a better head coach at Tennessee first. Here's the thing that stinks, and I understand how emotional we all are. Pruitt's a good football coach. The problem is he is a questionable head coach right now. That's the truth. A football coach, a teacher of the game, a guy knows his X's and O's, yeah, he's a good football coach. He's a damn good football coach. But there's a difference between being a football coach as an assistant and being a head coach, an overseer of a program. Those are two totally different things. And Pruitt is still learning. And we are at the point in our program where we can't afford to allow someone to learn on the job at this rate. Like, we need you to be learning at a rate where, okay, West Virginia game, you learn, and okay, boom, you learned a huge lesson from game 1 and game 2, and by the time we get to the midseason, you are ready to be a head coach, you're good to go. We are in year 2, week 1, and we're still seeing head coaching mistakes. That's, as a program, we are not in a place to deal with that. If we had superior talent, if we were playing teams that were not good, if we had great effort, then you can do that. Like, Georgia could do that with Kirby Smart. He was learning how to be a head coach the first time, but he had all this talent. And so the small mistakes that he would make, it was not a big deal because they still won. They had all the talent. He can't make those mistakes right now because we don't have the talent that we need. The fan base is already on edge. Let's not get carried away with saying that Pruitt's not a good football coach. He just right now is not what we need as a head coach. We need a little bit more from him from a head coaching standpoint. Let's go back to the phones. Who we got?
I believe Teeth in Chattanooga.
Teeth? Like?
I believe so.
Teeth? Like what you chew with?
I believe that's what I heard.
No, Keith.
Oh, Keith. I'm sorry.
Keith!
I can't hear
Keith,
as you
good
can
morning.
tell.
Sorry
I
about that,
apologize.
Keith.
That makes a little more
Morning.
sense.
Hey, Keith, good morning.
Fellas. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. Normally, I like to just sit back and listen to you guys and enjoy it every morning.
Thank you.
But I'm going to tell you a few things, and then I'll get off and listen. First of all, I would bet that just one of our assistant coaches makes more money than the whole Georgia State staff combined. And that irritates me after what I saw Saturday.
Okay, that should.
Since I was old enough to drive, I felt like I had to be at every Tennessee home game. I didn't care who they were playing. But the Vanderbilt game of Butch's last season, I left in the third quarter, and all the way down the interstate, I looked at myself in the rearview mirror and told myself, you are not buying tickets again until you see something you want to go see. And I have not bought tickets for the last 2 years. And it's a strange feeling when you've gone up there your whole life and watched this football team, and then suddenly you don't have any desire to do that anymore. Third, if I'm Jeremy Pruitt when that game ended Saturday, I would have told those players, keep your uniforms on, stay on the field, we're going to practice. And if I'm Philip Fulmer, I would have gone to that practice, walked straight up to Jeremy Pruitt, and told him, we can't have this. We cannot have this at Tennessee. It's been years, probably since you played, Mr. Swain, that I've seen a team come out there with confidence and fight and determination to represent that uniform they're wearing. And it's just got to the point where I don't even have any desire. You know, when Tennessee football is not good, it makes the rest of college football totally uninteresting to me. Like when our game was over Saturday, I could care less about any other game that was on television. And I've never felt that way before. And that's really all I had to say is I just feel like the money that we pay these coaches, regime after regime, and you see these teams come into Knoxville that have no business being on the field with us, do things that we can't even come up with answers for.
Keith, thanks for the phone call, man. We are up against the top of the hour break, and I really appreciate your comments. I hate that, man. Hour 2 is coming up around the corner. Be right back.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Touchdown or turnover is up next on the Swain Event.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. The next thing you know, you're being arrested for DUI. Be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call DUI and criminal defense attorney Marcos Garza. Put this number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty, say Garza. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com.
In debt? In too deep? Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union says, stop treading water and get out of the deep end. If you've got debt, make a splash and come get some cash. If Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union can refinance your car, boat, camper, motorcycle, credit cards, personal or home loan, they'll pay you up to $500. So come take the plunge right now. Refinance your loans. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union will pay you. 5 convenient locations. Visit atfcu.com. Equal housing lender.
If you aren't following the Swain event on Twitter, then are you even on Twitter? Hit that follow button. It's the right thing to do.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Brad Matthews, Ben McKee, Jason Swain here with you, and appreciate you joining the show and sticking with us. I know for some folks, man, it's too tough to even do, even talk about the game, even listen about the game, or hear about the game. I understand. I totally get it. You're so upset. You're so bothered. I've been doing this thing long enough that I can kind of separate my feelings from the job, and I think I've done a pretty good job in hour one, but there's 2 more hours, and you never know.
It just stinks because everybody was so excited for college football being back, and Tennessee just completely ruined that excitement. I went home and I watched the Oregon-Auburn game. I watched the first half of USC, Fresno State, and I believe the second half of Vanderbilt and Georgia. And it just didn't feel the same as it did Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday morning before the Tennessee game, college game day, hearing that theme music go. I mean, you got chills running through your body, and then Tennessee just sticks a knife in your college football heart. It just sucks.
I didn't watch any football yesterday. I didn't watch one NFL game.
Well, that's good. There wasn't one.
Well, that explains it. I watched a little bit of the Auburn-Oregon game, and I watched a little bit of the Oklahoma game, but I'm with you, man. It ruined my football, my thirst for football, to be honest. All right, let's get back to the phones because the phone lines are packed. We want to have good caller pace on a Monday here. Let's get to Jeremy. Jeremy, good morning. Jeremy, you there? Hello, Jeremy, going once, going twice. All right, who we got next?
The Wizard.
The Wizard. Good morning, Wizard.
Good morning, buddy.
Hey.
Couple things, man. I'm probably still as pissed off this morning as I was Saturday, but I'm gonna try to not go on a full blown rant or anything.
Okay.
But a couple things that really irritated me was, for one, Jeremy Pruitt didn't make any adjustments at all. I mean, there was zero adjustments. The whole rotating 50 different guys in and out on both offense and defensive side of the ball, that's typically what you do when you do play a team like Georgia State, but you don't do it when you're in a fight for your life. And at halftime, it should have been, pretty much a given, hey, we need to run with our starters, the guys that's going to be playing in the big games like Florida and Georgia and that stuff, and try to get this win, because right now we're getting killed. I mean, it wasn't like that, there was, a few turnovers that, was just kind of careless. Of course, those did happen, or we were, killing ourselves with penalties or whatever. We were just completely getting dominated, just straight up.
Yep.
The line of scrimmage, we were just getting murdered from the snap of the ball on both sides, on offense and defense. It's like we couldn't get a push for nothing. And what I don't understand, Swain, is why did we stay in that same nickel base package, like that same nickel package pretty much the whole game, where our 4 defensive linemen's going up against 5 blockers minimum, sometimes 6, and then our linebackers are getting froze from the read option and the pitch option plays. So really, we were at a disadvantage every time the ball was snapped. That's why they were gaining 6 to 7 yards almost every time.
Well, we need to match personnel because they had a quarterback that can run. They had 3-4 wide receivers, and so we need to be in nickel to put more athletes on space. The problem is that we didn't play assignment football versus the option. Every time there was a pitch, someone would have the pitch, but then someone would have the quarterback, but no one would have the pitch. That was a problem. We didn't play assignment football.
But at that point in time, don't you think it'd be just go ahead and say screw it and bring the safeties down into the box and let the corners just play man to man and bring your safeties down?
Well, yeah, you can still do that with nickel. I mean,
right.
You question personnel, and all I'm saying, you question personnel. All I'm saying is the personnel was right because you needed fast guys on the field. It was just that they didn't know what they're doing. Now, if you want to put the star position and the linebackers and the safeties down in the box to force the quarterback to throw over the top, then that's one thing. But I think I felt like we had the right personnel. We just didn't know where we were going. I mean, DeAndre Johnson is basically running on the field as the ball is being snapped, and then Trayvon Flowers basically jumps in the wrong hole, and their running back goes untouched for a touchdown.
Jalen McCullough was out there on the next drive.
And you also had Jeremy Banks, who got flipped from running back to linebacker, last week, 10 days ago, and he's playing meaningful snaps in the second half of a game in which we're losing.
He got outflanked by a tight end for a touchdown. I mean,
but he was in that situation.
That was him, yeah.
And didn't Garland play two guys? Well, he wasn't even on our roster a week ago, and wasn't he getting out there getting meaningful snaps
Dude,
as well?
that's the thing that will cause some problems in the locker room. Garland was in the transfer portal and was out most of fall camp. If he's getting the same number of reps as someone who was out there all fall camp and doing everything right, that could be a problem in the locker room.
Yeah,
and I'm not buying that BS where Jeremy said, well, all the guys played about the same during camp. I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. You can preach that to somebody else that don't know football. There ain't no way that there wasn't some guys that separated themselves from the rest. There just ain't. And I don't know, Jason. I'm not sitting here calling for his head or saying fire him or whatever. I do think that, he knows football. I think that we do have a good coaching staff. Why our players looked as unprepared and unmotivated as they did, I don't know. But, I mean, even if you had never been through a college fall camp, through a year of college off season, coming straight out of high school, the type of athletes that the Tennessee has is twice as good as what Georgia State has. And you still know how to play football. You still know how to line up from the man across you and get a push and swing him to the side and tackle a guy that has the ball. We didn't see none of that. It was like they were just running into a brick wall, and that was it. They didn't show no fight or no desire to want to come back and win this ball game, man. It's crazy. And I don't believe, like a couple of your other callers said, that we haven't had a team show fight since 97 or whatever. That's not true. We had Josh Dobbs, and that team was good. And, we had a couple teams. But right now, I definitely didn't see it out of this team. And it's hard for me to see what is this coaching staff going to be able to do. You've been in some tough losses and, had some down moments. What is it going to take to get the fire and the intensity out of our players for us to go forward and possibly win, 6 or 7 games this year?
It starts in practice, Wizard. Thanks for the phone call. It starts in practice today. I don't care if the whole team gets hurt today. You got to go 908. You got to go Oklahoma drilled. You got to go full pads. You got to hit. You got to hit. You got to go one-on-one drills. You got to go Tennessee drill. I know Bull in the Ring has been outlawed. You might have to do Bull in the Ring and off the cameras. I mean, I'm serious. Like, that's where we are right now. It starts in practice. And you have one practice like that today, which you hope that's a good practice. And guess what you do the next day? You do the same thing. You may not be as physical, but it starts in practice. If Tennessee's going to win this football game Saturday, which they can, it starts in practice. I'm not going to say one word about Jeremy Pruitt's job security and talk about firing Jeremy Pruitt. That's a waste of hot air. There's so many things we can look at in this football game that happened, that did not happen, that's worth our time, worth our energy, worth our breath, besides fire Pruitt. It ain't happening. This is his second year. You're going to pay him a ton of money. You're still paying Butch Jones. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your breath. It ain't happening. You just wasting hot air. So we're not going to do that.
No. To the point about Karat Garland, I knew something was funky when he and Savion Williams were in on the second drive of the game, and two of the starters got replaced. I can't remember which two got replaced, but the 3 starters were Greg Emerson, Aubrey Solomon, and Jarrell Middleton. Two of those, I can't remember which 2 were not out there. I need to go back and look. But Garland and Savion Williams were out there in replacement of 2 of those guys on the second drive of the game, and I don't think it was because they were wanting to rotate players. If you go back and you look at Georgia State's first drive, which was after the Ty Chandler fumble, Tennessee got punched in the mouth. No push up front, no discipline no eye discipline on keeping track of who has the football. It was just poor football up front. So I don't think it was a situation where guys were just getting subbed in and out. They were terrible in that first drive, and then Garland and Savion Williams comes in.
Hey, man, if you get punked like that in the first scrimmage, maybe I do. I mean, first drive, second drive, maybe I do understand. I don't care if you wasn't out there all fall camp or not. I got to play somebody that can at least hold their own inside the trenches. But at the same time, it ain't a good look when you have a guy who was not out there, who was thinking about leaving the team, that his future at Tennessee is in question. He didn't think that he should be a part of this team. Changed his mind, missed 80% of fall camp, and was out there in the third drive. That's not a good look. All right, let's go back to the phones.
We've got Jeff in Cookeville.
Jeff, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, Jeff.
Show. Hey, listen, I think we got to stop blaming the fans, too. You hear it a lot about the fans getting on them. You know, one thing I suggest is we quit doing countdowns, because we get down to one day and we're all jacked, and then we get something like that. It's just killer, man.
No, we got to keep doing countdowns, man. That ain't our fault. No, man, we got to keep doing. We're not gonna stop doing countdowns because the team play like crap.
I know it, man. you know, we see all these stars in front of names and the facilities and this and that, but your tweet, man, put it right in perspective of the effort. Effort wasn't there.
That's the number one problem for me. I mean, everyone can look at, Jared Garantano because he's easy, he's a quarterback. But the first and most important thing here is the effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, fans, people say they're not coming to the game. Jason, if your show, you and Ben done a terrible job. I listen to your show because I love the insight. Was a big fan of yours when you played. You guys are honest, truthful. If your show was terrible, there wouldn't be nobody listening to it. Same way with football. Same way with, you're going to buy a ticket to a movie that everybody says, oh, it's terrible, don't go watch it. And that's just kind of what's happened the last, several years in a row. And I got a question for you, Jason. I was blessed to be a dual sport athlete at a local community college.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play football, so I don't, everything I've learned from football, I've learned from, EA Sports. Let's get that out there first.
It's in the game.
But why is it that, two questions, I watched the game, it looked like, and just defensive line, I'm talking about them, every time the ball snapped, we're standing up and just getting beat. And then my second question was, how come we don't see Tennessee throw the ball? And like I said, my football knowledge is not there. How come we don't throw the football over the middle very often at all? Everything's sideline oriented. Does the sideline not act like a defender in a way as well? And I'll leave that there, guys. Like I said, I don't know a lot about it. I'd love to hear your insight.
Thank you. I saw one play. It was covered. It was single safety. I don't know if it was cover 3 or not, but it was single safety. Dom Wood Anderson was coming open across the middle. He was open, and Jared, split second. In that split second, he decided to run, and here's where it's easy to say, "Oh, bad decision." And yeah, probably could have waited a half second. But do you blame him from taking off?
Nope.
Like I don't blame him in that particular situation.
It was one of the. I mean, I could count on one hand how many times Jared Garantano had a clean pocket on Saturday. That was one of the 4 or 5 times.
But you could tell his second half throws were being rushed because he had happy feet, not knowing when he was going to get hit.
And again, he wasn't good either to me. He wasn't good to me. I didn't think the Ty Chandler pass was too hot to handle. Ty Chandler is a guy who is caught kickoffs. He can return punts. He can catch the ball.
Yep.
If this was someone that we know couldn't catch out of the backfield, like a Leonard Fournette or someone like that, or Adrian Peterson. Remember, Adrian Peterson has the worst hands ever.
Stone hands.
If that's Adrian Peterson, I would jump on Jared a little bit more. But Ty Chandler can catch the ball. Ty Chandler didn't catch the ball. That's not on him. But Josh Palmer throw to the end zone. It was too high.
Got to make that throw.
You got to make that throw, man. I mean, you are a fourth-year quarterback who's been starting now for 3 years. He has to elevate his teammates' play. He did not do that. Now, all summer long, when talking about JG, I've been pretty consistent. JG gave Tennessee the best chance to win last year. JG had some good moments. He had some bad moments. There was a lot of questions about, is he good? Is he not good? Is he the answer? Is he not the answer? And I said, I need to see Jim Chaney here to really get a good understanding of where Jared is. Because I can't put all the blame on Jared last year. There was too much going wrong last year for me to put the blame on one person. Football is the ultimate team game. If you're blaming just one person, you truly don't understand the game of football. But after Saturday, I'm like, you got Jim Chaney. And I didn't see the improvement from last year to this year with Jim Chaney. And I know Jim Chaney is light years better than Tyson Helton. That's the problem for JG with me. He didn't make that jump that I thought I was going to see from one coordinator to the next. Let's go back to the phones.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Go for it.
A lot of people were upset with Jarrett Garantano when it was one of his scrambles. I believe it was his third scramble of the game. Let's see. Fourth. It was the fourth drive of the game, 2nd and 6, took off and gained 5 yards and maybe could have gotten the first down but decided to slide, and it happened to be short of the sticks.
Second down?
It was 2nd and 6. He gained 5 yards, but he probably, if he lowers his head and barrels forward, he picks up the first down. A lot of people were upset with him not doing that because he slid instead, and where he slid was short of the first down line. Where do you stand on that? Because a lot of people were crucifying him for that, saying that was not a great sign of effort.
If this was a running back, I would have a problem with it. And he ran out of bounds, I would have a problem with it. If it was a wide receiver that did that, I would have a problem with it. This is a quarterback that has been told to be smart, that's been told that he has to play for this team to have the best chance to win.
And you're still in the first half of this game.
It's second down.
Yeah.
So if it was like 4th down or maybe 3rd down, something like that, I would understand the criticism. But it's 2nd down. It's 2nd down and 6. You're Tennessee. You're getting ready to line up for a 3rd down and 1. You should be able to get the 3rd down and 1. So I don't have a problem with Jarrett sliding there. I think this is a case of it's easy to kind of pile on. Like, Jarrett wasn't great yesterday, Saturday. I understand that. But I think that is piling on a little bit. I mean, if we had a quarterback that we couldn't afford to get hurt, I would want him to slide and reduce the amount of hits that he's taking. So I don't have a problem with the slide. I do have a problem with the 3rd down, short yards execution. I think we got that 3rd down, did we not?
Yeah, sneak.
No, the one after where he scrambled and was short.
He didn't get that one?
Mm-mm.
So that's why it's easy to kind of look at that and go, well, it's his fault for sliding. No, he supposed to slide in that situation. You just got to pick up the 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, that jumbo package was interesting. And I wanted to make this note on Palmer real quick. Not on Palmer, but that throw to Palmer in the end zone right before half. That throw and JG missing that throw might have been the difference in the game, because if you look back on it, that was right before the half. Tennessee has to settle for a field goal because there's 1 second left on the clock. If that's a touchdown right there, maybe we're talking about a win today.
That blew those 3 seconds.
Yeah, and on top of that, he's scrambling around. There's 6 or 7 seconds left when that play started, and he's scrambling around, and clock almost expired. It almost didn't even get a field goal.
That's why you got to make that. That's why you got to make that throw. And that interception he threw that got called back.
Oh my God!
Bailed out.
That was bad. That was bad too.
Bad.
Yeah,
terrible.
Not JG's best day. Again, bad performance. But to rip him for the slide, I think that's piling on.
Yeah,
agreed.
All right, who we got next?
Jeremy called back in.
Jeremy, that's our bad, man. Jeremy, good morning.
Oh, it's all good. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Man, I don't even know where to begin. We at a scary place in Tennessee football right now.
We are.
Losing to Georgia State like that. My thing is, we got some big-time receivers. I understand they don't have a lot of time to throw the ball, but we got some big-time receivers. We got to get the playmakers of football. I mean, we sitting here looking at them throwing to, and I'm a tight end. I played tight end in college. We throw to Austin Pope on 3rd and 2, and it's behind the line of scrimmage almost. Like, why are we not throwing 5 to 7 yards right there?
I'm glad you brought that up. As a quarterback, you're like the point guard, okay? Have you ever seen a really good point guard in a fast break situation throw the ball to the center that's sprinting to the from one block to the other side of the block, other side of the court, and the point guard throw him the ball around half court or the 3-point line, forcing him to put the ball on the ground and make a drive, make a move? No, you don't see good point guards do that. You give the ball to that player when he doesn't have to take a dribble. He can just lay it up.
Right.
Point guard give you the ball in the best situation so you can score or be successful. JG, you got to know your personnel. Here's Austin Pope. I don't have a problem with throwing behind the sticks if you throw it to guys that you know can make moves. Like, if Eric Gray gets the ball behind the sticks, I'm cool. He's going to make a guy miss and go pick up the first down.
Absolutely.
But it's Austin Pope. You got to know you can't throw it to Austin Pope in that situation.
And he wasn't open.
I mean, he was open. But you can't throw it to Austin Pope in that situation. Your job as quarterback is look at the down distance and go, okay, we need 3 yards. We need 3 yards. All right, cool. Austin Pope. All right. My flat route is short. That flat route is put in place to widen the widest defender. Okay? The purpose of that route is to send him to the sidelines to widen the widest defender for Georgia State. So that way Callaway is open.
And it looked like he was.
He was open. Yeah, he was open.
So it's like, you don't see him?
He was open. So Jared made a quick decision.
Had his target in mind before the snap, hawked him down, and didn't give a chance for the play to develop because of the routine he's got himself into of not having enough time rolling out. He's not letting all of these passing plays develop, especially on medium and deeper routes.
I understand, but the guy was open, and so he just threw it to him. But he's a 4th-year player. He's a 3rd-year quarterback. He has to know it's 3rd down and 3. It's Austin Pope. What is the chances of him catching this ball, making a guy miss, and picking up the yards? It's slim. So I'm going to hold it for a split second for Callaway because you know that the flat defender is widening out. It's not like an egregious play, an egregious throw like we saw the interception before the half, but it's a play that if you are, again, a 4th-year player, 3rd-year quarterback starting, you have to understand the situation a little bit better. That's what I'm saying. I'm not totally ripping the pass because you got to throw it to the open guy right now. But it's Austin Pope. That's like throwing the ball to John Fulkerson when he's running full speed and you're throwing it to him at the 3-point line. No, let him get to the paint a little bit more so when he catches it, he can take 2 steps without putting the ball on the ground and lay it up. It's a difference between throwing the ball full speed to John Fulkerson and Grant Williams at 3. Because Grant Williams can put the ball on the ground, make things happen. You have to know your personnel. That's what I'm saying. JG is a point guard on the football field. Know your personnel. That's not Eric Gray. That's not Jawan Jennings. That's not Callaway. That's Austin Pope.
And
that's all I'm saying.
He was open to complete the pass, but what I meant by he wasn't open is, if I remember correctly, at the first down marker, there were 2 or 3 Georgia State defenders ready for him. That's what I meant by he wasn't open. To your point that you can't expect Austin Pope to make a move against 2 or 3 Georgia State defenders and pick up the first down.
Yeah,
that's more so what I was saying why he wasn't open.
But he was open. I mean,
to make a clean pass.
To achieve the goal, though,
he was
he
open.
wasn't.
He was open.
Going back
guys.
to your point,
guys, he was open.
But it's going back to your point. As a 3rd, 4th-year quarterback, you should have the knowledge and the awareness that to convert the goal, he's not open for what I need. You know what I mean?
Y'all are fighting it. He was open, but it's Austin Pope. And the defense closed the gap and didn't give Austin enough chance to make a move. If he's wide open and there's no one coming close, okay, you throw the ball. But Callaway was right there. I mean, split second, and you get that first down. And Callaway probably makes a guy miss and picks up more than 3 yards.
He does make a guy miss and pick up the first down.
Absolutely. That's knowing your personnel. That's my knock right there on that play. Hour 2 is powered by Alumni Hall, alumnihall.com. Get game day ready, your headquarters for everything orange and white. alumnihall.com. Be right back.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Hey, it's Chris Lowe of ESPN. And listen, maybe Jason Swain didn't wear number 1 quite as well as the great Leonard Little did at Tennessee, but he is your go-to guy for all things Big Orange. Join us weekly on the Swain event, brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine and trsportsmedicine.com.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf. Then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells, or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
Hey y'all, check it out. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue has a brand new happy hour special right now that you don't want to miss. Get $2 off of their fantastic barbecue queso appetizer from 2 to 4 p.m. That's queso loaded with your choice of pork, chicken, or brisket and served with Frito scoops. And for the rest of the month, check out their new Pig and Peaches salad for $11. This thing is loaded with salad mix, grape tomatoes, fire-roasted peaches, pickled red onions, pork belly burn-ins, goat cheese, and topped with a delicious balsamic vinaigrette. Dead End Barbecue. The barbecue surge is over.
While the players are gearing up for the gridiron, it's time for you to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Peter Millar, and all of those retro logos you love. And the 2 for $28 t-shirt deal? Game changer. And don't forget about the rest of your game day crew. There are plenty of options for the entire family and to upgrade that tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com. It's football time in Tennessee.
Hey there, Swain event listeners. It's football time in Tennessee. While you're cheering on the Vols, you might be thinking, I would love to buy a home with a great place to entertain for games. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm tired of hosting all of these people at my house and we don't need all this space anymore. Whatever your plans may be, when you are ready to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call me, Jennifer Morris, at Keller Williams Realty, 865-694-5904, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
If you aren't following the Swain event on Twitter, then are you even on Twitter? Hit that follow button. It's the right thing to do.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Thank you for joining us on a crisp, cool morning in East Tennessee. And
happy holidays, everybody.
Oh yeah, it's Labor Day.
It is?
It's Labor Day. Yeah. So enjoy your day off. You know, we are benefiting from nice weather because there's folks below us that are going to be experiencing some catastrophic weather, and so we want to have our thoughts and prayers with those folks down there in Florida, and it's hurricane season, and just hope for the best. But yeah, we are enjoying some nice weather, but it is because of other folks dealing with some bad weather. But let's go back to the phones this morning. Phone lines have been packed all morning, so we want to have caller pace.
Yes.
Who do we have next?
And we appreciate the callers being a little more patient today. I know days like today, you have to wait on hold a little bit longer. But we've got Rodney and Austell and Foxhall who have been patiently waiting.
Rodney, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, fellas?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, then. It's just two things that I see that worries me about the future scheduling, and that's the lack of pass rush. And also, I don't want to keep piling on Jared, but his pocket awareness is it's horrible.
Was it good Saturday?
I mean, it's not. He's like, I was listening from the other callers and what y'all been talking about. It sounds like, I don't mean this in no slight, but it sounds like Jared's got PTSD.
Yep.
He just, if you worried about this, his body language, if you look at him on the sideline, his body language, it never inside any kind of let's pull this together. There's no Casey Clausen. There's nobody in there. He's just like blah. He doesn't bring that to the table. And that blitz that came out to hit him, that it was like, hey, Jarrett, you got like 4 seconds here.
No.
There's a blitz coming off the edge.
You got less than 4 seconds.
He does not see it coming. I have not seen him climb the pocket in 2 or 3 years. It's like, we got a bad line. You got to know something's coming.
Yeah, the sack from the corner blitz. It was a corner blitz, and it wasn't like we were at the it wasn't like we were on the hash where it was a really short corner. I mean, the guy had a ways to come to get to Jarrett, and he did not play that well. There was one time when bless him, because it's not all his fault. Wanye's been cross training, tackle and guard, and I feel like if you're a freshman, I don't know if cross training is the right thing to do. Learn one position so that way you can get that down. But Wanye been playing guard, playing tackle, and one time, Georgia State backer comes right at the gut. Wanye is blocking someone else. 2 guys on one, and then we leave one guy right open, and he comes right and hits Jared right in the mouth on a linebacker blitz. And so I think you're right, Rodney. JG doesn't get a pass. There's no excuses for Jared, but you can't say that he's not suffering from PTSD, man. I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, he's getting hit when he's got a clean pocket. He doesn't hold the ball long enough to let guys get open, or he holds the ball too long and then guys get to him and sack him. And then when it's not his fault, it's someone else's fault, and then we mess up. It's just, if it's not one thing, it's the other, and I hate it.
It's a mess.
I hate it, man. I hate it.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things that, like, okay, if he doesn't show any type of improvement against BYU, and I'm telling you, if they couldn't get pressure on the quarterback Ellington, Wilson is going to kill him.
Oh, he is a 1,000 times better version of Dan Ellington.
Right. So if they can't get pressure on them, or they can't cover out there on the edges, there's no way that Tennessee's going to beat BYU.
It's the number one concern, Rodney.
Rush.
Yeah, that's the number one concern besides effort.
There's no right.
Yeah.
So if he can't get it past them, man, I'm like, hey, I done seen enough of JG. I won't have to worry about mispronouncing his name anymore. I'm ready to see someone else that, at least because I know what I'm going to get out of Jarrett. I'd rather see somebody new at UTC to put a little fire in his teammates or something like that, because if not, this season's going to it's going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible. Deion Grant came into my store yesterday, and I saw him, he saw me, and we both dropped our heads. That's a VFL.
Rodney, I'm with you. I mean, the defensive line, to me, with effort and guys lining up properly, the defensive line, that's the most pressing issue for me. We had 2 sacks on the day against Georgia State. One of those sacks was from Sean Schamberger on a blitz.
Beautiful call. Beautiful delayed blitz. I mean, Schamberger did a great job, and it was in the second quarter, I believe. But other than that, it was terrible.
You have 2 defensive ends lining up on the same edge and no idea where your linebackers are coming from, because they're just into the game and they don't know the play call. They don't know where to line up.
And the play that you were referencing, the worst part about that is you had a senior and Darrell Taylor standing over both of those defensive ends.
Yep.
And did not tell them where to go. Nope. I was watching as that was developing.
Got beat to that side.
Yep. The coaches were yelling, telling them to come back. The coaches were trying to get it all sorted out. Will Ignat was in there trying to get it all sorted out. And then there was one of the corners who was on Tennessee side of the field was trying to get it all sorted out. Everybody realized that they were lined up wrong, except for the 3 guys that were lined up wrong. And the worst part about it was there was a senior, a 5th-year senior, and Darrell Taylor standing right over them, just not thinking anything of it.
I'm not on the bench, JG. Train right now.
Nor am I.
Not right now.
Maurer and Stroud don't give you a chance to win.
Yeah.
Behind this offensive line.
Yeah, I'm not on that train right now. we did this last year. You put in a guy and what's my man from
Keller Chris.
And the biggest problem with Keller Chris in practice was that he could not take care of the football and he would turn it over. That's one thing that JG does. He is very careful in not turning the football over. You're not going to win any games if you turn the football over from the quarterback position over and over and over. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. JG still gives you the best chance to win. And I know folks don't want to hear that. I get it. But you got to take care of the football. Tennessee had 3 turnovers on Saturday. One was an interception, late from Jarrett. You had a fumble. He had 2 fumbles from Ty Chandler.
Yep.
But he didn't lose them. Right now, JT Stroud, Brian Maurer, not right now. Not right now.
Yeah, Tennessee had 3 turnovers that resulted in Georgia State getting the ball. Ty Chandler lost one of them on technically the pass, although it never hit the ground.
It was a lateral.
Yeah,
that's right.
But really, you had 5 or 6 because Callaway fumbled and was lucky to jump back on the ball. JG had did throw an interception, but it was called back at the goal line because of defensive pass interference.
And then interception.
And then didn't Ty Chandler fumble once and then got the ball back?
Yes.
Correct.
So you had really 6 turnovers.
And then JG got hit and fumbled too.
Yeah.
So those live ball turnovers where guys can scoop and score or run after picking the ball off, that's what I'm afraid of with Stroud or Brian Maurer.
It's not time yet.
Yeah, it ain't. I think
we're
a
assessing the play of Jarrett Garantano, and it's not all positives, it's not all good things, doesn't mean we're calling for the backup. We should be able to assess his play. I think the fans realize that.
Did Pruitt do a good job Saturday?
No.
But that doesn't mean he needs to be fired today.
Correct. No.
Did Jarrett play well? No. That doesn't mean that he should be replaced today. And I understand. Last year, you had some of the same things you saw on Saturday. But I'm telling you, there's a huge drop-off, and JG still gives you the best chance to win. I'm sorry you don't want to hear that, but it is what it is. Who's next?
Foxhall.
Foxhall, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Foxhall, man. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, man. I think when I look at this, we can't look at the quarterback. We can't look at any one position. I'm going to channel my inner Titans Bill here. Tradition. I think when I watched the game, I looked at a whole bunch of guys that don't understand what they're carrying on their chest. I really don't.
Correct.
I think one of my favorite stories that you've told was when Coach Cut came along and he took you guys, up the mountain. And I look at these young men, and there's no way that they could possibly know what they represent because you wouldn't play like that. You wouldn't give effort like you gave. I miss guys like Al Wilson. He was from Tennessee. It meant something to him. And I'm not saying you have to be from Tennessee for it to mean something, but I don't think that they understand. Like, my wife, she used to make fun of me because I would get upset when Tennessee would lose. I didn't play football in college. I didn't go to the University of Tennessee. But for me, when I was a kid, I grew up in a troubled home, divorce, all that stuff, and there weren't a whole lot of really great times, but, I can remember looking forward to the fall, looking forward to Saturdays, because that's when me and my stepdad would sit down and watch the games. And I look back at that now, and those memories are still there. There's lineage there. There's generation to generation to generation that's tied up all in that T that sits on your chest and on your helmet. It's not about you. It's not about football. It's not about the NFL. It's not about any of that stuff. You carry a fan base on your chest.
Yep.
Right there, right next to your heart.
Yep.
It should mean something. And that type of effort shows that it doesn't mean really much of anything to these guys. If I was the coach, I would take them out on the field and I would have them look around pregame or, even halftime. I don't care. But when the stands are full, I would have them look around and I would say, this is why you play the game. These people sacrifice their mortgages sometimes to come and watch you play this game that you love. And they can't do it, but you know why they do it? Because it takes them back. It takes them back to better times. It takes them back to fond memories of their family. I mean, some people remember their grandfather that's no longer with us. They used to sit down and watch the games with them. I mean, it should mean more than the effort that they put out on Saturday, guys. It should. But from what I could tell, that's the problem. I don't think they understand. There's a losing culture that has permeated that university and the football program. Maybe they need to go check out the basketball program, figure out what's going on there. Because what I saw Saturday was a bunch of guys that aren't playing for each other. They're not playing for the fan base. I don't know what that was, but I didn't recognize it. And I don't think you do either.
Nope. Foxhall, and your call was spot on. It was spot on.
What's unfortunate is people may not like me saying this, but Tennessee does not have a football coach that recognizes the tradition and passion of the University of Tennessee. So I would love for Jeremy Pruitt to take the team out and say everything that Foxhall said. I think that would be great. But unfortunately, we don't have a head coach that recognizes Tennessee's proud tradition.
But is there someone on that staff that does?
Absolutely, and you know exactly who it is. T. Martin. T. Martin should be the most angry coach on that staff this weekend. He knows what Tennessee should be. I said it earlier in the show in the first or second segment. I'm tired of the football team being a stain on the University, East Tennessee, and Knoxville. All three of the places I just mentioned have become a laughing joke, the laughing stock of college football because of the football team, and I'm tired of it.
Let's go back to the phones.
We've got Mike and Bama.
Mike, good morning.
Morning, Swain.
Good morning.
Hanging.
Hey, man, Mike, my man, good to hear from you. I know that voice anywhere.
Oh, man. You know, I was hearing the spots during the commercial break last time, and every one of them said it's football time in Tennessee, and I kind of wish it wasn't football time in Tennessee right now.
I know, man.
I mean, goodness gracious. But, you know, I'm ready for November 4th. I'm ready for basketball season. I'm glad they took care of it, done first weekend. So it's like, all right, but anyway.
63 days, I believe.
Basketball school.
Yeah, all jokes aside, though, but the biggest improvement has, I guess, always been said. The biggest improvement from a head coach's tenure is year 1 to year 2, and yeah, it's not looking good.
Nope.
No.
Saturday was not good for anyone, players or coach.
I just don't understand how you take a field and you don't give any effort. And coaching, I don't understand how you could be out-coached like that. I mean, the offensive line, as you guys, like people discussed with Wanya and all that, working guard and basic fundamentals for offensive line is you always block outside. And then Wanya just lets linebacker blitz right from him on right outside.
But Mike, I got to give him some grace because he's a true freshman who had to learn multiple positions in fall camp. You know,
I'm not putting it on the young man. Coaching needs to be taught.
Yeah.
Like basic fundamental coaching needs to be taught here because that was not basic. Coach, like that product on the field. Oh my God! But I know we got others behind me that want to voice out their frustrations as well. So I'm going to get off the phone. But Swain, good to hear or good to talk to you again. But man, I hate it in this circumstance.
Hey man, it's good to hear from you. First play of the game for Tennessee on offense. First play for Tennessee on offense. Pretty much explained the rest of the game. And I got YouTube TV, so it cut off the first play for me. So I had to find some different ways to go back and watch that first play. But I know exactly what happened. We had no answer for it. I'll explain on the other side of the break. Hour 2, powered by Alumni Hall, alumnihall.com. Shop 24/7 on their website, alumnihall.com. Follow them on Twitter, Alumni Hall UT. Be right back.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
Tap water often contains harmful chemicals and additives. When you call for your free water test from Hiller, we'll show you exactly what's in your water and how to remove it. Enjoy cleaner, healthier water in your home. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your free in-home appointment today.
Call the happy face truck today.
Do you want a custom themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Well, look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. Every design has you, the fan, in mind. Their tumblers and bottles are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the market. From stainless steel sippy cups to tumblers and sports bottles, Game Time Sidekicks offers something for the fan of all ages to rep their team with. They have many different logo options, so fans will have something they are proud to carry around all the time. Use promo code SWAIN at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase at GameTimeSidekicks.com. They also offer $5 flat rate shipping. Be sure to check out the Game Time Workshop on the website and customize your tumbler to make it one of a kind with things like your nickname, number, or initials. Game Time Sidekicks. Show your colors and carry your team. The year's going by so fast. The good news is it's football season. The bad news is, well, there's a bunch of stuff you still need to do this year, like get a health checkup. I recommend Low T Center. You can get all of your levels checked with a $99 complete health assessment. Low T Center exclusively treats men, and they make it quick and easy. Plus, it's covered by most health insurance. Call 865-392-1388, or you can schedule your appointment online at lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Due to a special purchase, Beatty Chevrolet has over 100 pre-owned crossovers and SUVs at tremendous savings during the $1 Million Markdown event. 100 crossovers and SUVs from Chevrolet, Ford, Nissan, Volkswagen, Toyota, Honda, Mazda, and more. All makes and models starting at $89.95. And we'll buy your vehicle on the spot. Plus, get the Beatty warranty for life during the $1 Million Markdown. Only at Beatty Chevrolet in Knoxville or shop BeattyChevrolet.com. Sale prices plus tax, title, and license.
Craving flavors that don't take hours in the kitchen? Mrs. Grissom's cheese spreads and chicken salads are the perfect go-to. Ready-to-eat meals and snacks found in the meat or dairy section at your local grocery store. Whether you crave the classic Mrs. Grissom's pimento cheese or the gluten-free select varieties like the cranberry pecan chicken salad, enjoy small-town flavor in every bite. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom's.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
All right, we're going back to the phones. Hour 2 here on the Swain event. It is brought to you by Alumni Hall, alumnihall.com. Nike Golf, Peter Millar, 2 for $25 t-shirt. All available at Alumni Hall. Who we got next on the hotline?
Tradition.
Titans Bill. Titans Bill, good morning.
Good morning, my friend. I saw you last night on the locker room. And as always, you look dapper.
Thank you, Titans Bill. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
The fans need to realize there were several other teams that came very close, Jason, very close of getting upset.
Yeah.
South Alabama came very close of upsetting Nebraska. Northern Iowa, a mid-major school, came very close of upsetting Iowa State. Let's see, Toledo came very close of upsetting Kentucky.
Wyoming beat Missouri.
Wyoming beat Missouri.
That was in Laramie, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know this will be a big feather on Georgia State's cap, and they'll probably lose games the rest of the way. It's no telling about how well Georgia State is going to play for the rest of the season.
That's fair.
But I'm going to say this. You know, one of you said a very interesting thing. Oh, they don't care about winning. If they don't care about winning, what business do they have wearing that orange and white uniform and that helmet that has the power T? What does all that represent? Winning. That's what it represents.
Titans Bill,
some head coach needs to smack somebody in the back of the head and let them know about it.
I agree with you on that one, Titans Bill. But hey, just because they wear it doesn't mean they understand what winning is about. You kind of have to wear a uniform to play in the games. You don't really have a choice. They got to wear it.
And they're a disgrace to that uniform.
Saturday, it's hard to disagree with you on that one, Titans Bill. Saturday was a disgrace. Saturday was a disgrace. There's not a way to sugarcoat this stuff. Saturday was a disgrace. Period. Point blank.
On a light note, you know how in past football seasons, it happens every year, but we'll say like going into a Georgia or Alabama game in recent years, Monday it's like, we don't have a chance at winning. And then Tuesday there's like, well, maybe if we catch a break or two, we might could. Wednesday increases a little bit more, and then by Friday it's like, we're gonna upset Georgia. That is going to be at an all-time high this week.
No, it won't.
Just wait till Friday.
No, it won't.
Vols by 50 over the Mormons. You don't think Triple O's calling in talking about the Mormons?
What are we thinking for the attendance next Saturday night?
I don't know, man. I know Saturday was like 88,000. I saw there was announced. Announced. But I saw some chairs.
Which, in my opinion, is pathetic.
That should tell you a lot, man. First game of the season.
And I don't blame the fans one bit.
No, I don't.
But I do think people. I think there will be 95 to 97,000 in Neyland on Saturday. Yeah. Fans have never been a problem.
I bet you that won't happen.
How much you want to bet?
Money.
I bet you a lunch at Dead End.
Okay.
Shake on it. Shake on it.
We shook on it.
Shake on it so I know it's real. All right, who we got next?
Sam.
Sam, good morning.
Let's go with
who we got there?
Oh, Spencer and Memphis.
Spencer. Sorry about that. Good morning.
No problem. You know, guys, so I noticed a few things. One, I've been a Jarrett Garantano supporter. I'm sorry, Garantano.
Garantano.
I never thought he was going to win a Heisman or anything, but I certainly didn't think he was bad. You know what I mean? He's not the reason we lost games. That's the way I really kind of looked at Jarrett.
Mm-hmm.
With a chance to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And,
me too.
I looked at him on Saturday, and I watched Jalen Hurts last night. And after the game, Jarrett Garantano said, I didn't play great. I didn't play too bad either. Got some stuff I could work on. Jalen Hurts, breaking records. I was disappointed we were sloppier than we needed to be. Oh, what a unique difference that is. Then I'm looking around at the team, and I see some guys playing hard. I see people like Trey Smith trying to play with some pride. Juwan Jennings, that's never been a question.
Never been a question.
Never been a question. I see some freshmen that, while it seemed like they didn't really know what they were doing, they cared. Like Jeremy Banks, he cares. I mean, granted, he's out of position sometimes. He doesn't quite know what he's doing. The coaches put him there, so that's on them. But he plays hard. He cares. And what I'll say is this. To me, if I'm Juwan or any person that's a leader on the team that is not mistake-proof but is going to lay it on the line, I don't really care who the coach says they think they're going to start. Well, I will fight you on the field right now, and I will sit your butt on the bench. I don't care. And you know what? If Jeremy Pruitt, if Will Friend, Jim Chaney, Derek Ainsley, any of the folks on defense, any coach wants to play somebody because they think that they're better, but I don't think they're going to lay it on the line with me, we'll fight on this field right now.
I agree.
You're not coming on the field with me.
I
And
agree.
that's what needs to happen.
I agree.
I hope that there are fights that break out this week because to a certain extent that's going to be healthy.
Yep.
And honestly, Jeremy Pruitt and all the guys that have national championship and SEC championship rings, they walked into that game, and the only reason they were playing 500 different people was because they thought this was going to be a scrimmage. Get people some reps. And that, I'm telling you, that better be the last coaching lesson that he needs to learn. That's it. That as far people make questionable calls all the time. That's not a big deal. But as far as serious coaching mistakes, that better be the last one.
I agree, Spencer, man. I agree 100%. And thanks for the phone call. Sorry we had to cut you off. We are at the top of the hour. Hard break. First play of Tennessee's first play of the game was a pass thrown out of bounds. We were in 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. So we only had 2 guys going out on the route. Georgia State was so ready for us that they took their safeties. Their corners were playing about 8-9 yards off and inside. They took their safeties on the snap of the football and ran directly to the 2 wide receivers. And we had 2 go routes. It was so covered that all Jerry did was throw it out of bounds, which was the best thing to do, which was the right thing to do. Either run it or throw it out of bounds. And he threw it out of bounds, which was the right decision. We got outcoached from the first play on. No secondary decision up the middle. No, if they do this, we're going to do this. Nothing. Hour 3 is coming up around the corner. Swain event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Stay with us.
For what is coming up on the Swain event.
Look for isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 2 p.m. today. Sunny with a high of 88 and a low of 68. Sunny and hot tomorrow with a high near 91 and a low around 69. More sunshine on Wednesday with a high in the mid-90s. Weather on the Swain event is brought to you by Be Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, Be Dry can help. BeDry.com. Be Dry is celebrating 60 years of protecting homes across the U.S. They are the basement and crawl space experts. There has been historic rainfall in East Tennessee recently. If you are experiencing wet foundation walls, puddles on your floor, or water where your floor and wall meet, then you should call Be Dry. They have over 500,000 customers nationwide. Be Dry gives free estimates for all homeowners. Financing is available, and if you mention the Swain event, Be Dry will give you $500 off a full perimeter basement waterproofing solution. Wet basement? Better call Be Dry, 865-588-0454 or online at BeDry.com.
We all know that Vol Nation is all over the country. Traveling to games is a fun time for the entire family, but deciding where to stay can be a bit stressful. That's where the Big Orange Faithful at the Hampton Inn downtown come in. General Manager Stephen Lawrence and his team go over and beyond to make sure that you have the best stay in their brand new rooms. They have the cleanest rooms in the game, which include flat screen, microwave, and fridge. Not to mention breakfast is included in the room rate. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the best part. The Hampton Inn downtown is less than a mile from Neyland Stadium. While you're planning your game day trips, be sure to check out Hampton Inn online at hamptoninn.com and search Knoxville. Book Hampton Inn downtown today.
Hey, Mr. Max, you heard the lowdown? No, homie. Give me the word on what's going on. Tell them what it is, Big Will.
Max, and the lowdown is no money down, only at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. No money down at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. Not $1,000 down, not $100 down, not even a nickel down. Low down, no down, only at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. 2 minutes from the airport. So fly on down to the new Open Franklin Motors next to Walmart, home of the original low down, no down payment. That is, why would you buy from anywhere else when you know we gonna get you done? Good credit, bad credit, slow credit, we will get you approved. So come on down to 911 Louisville Road, the new Open Franklin Motors next to Walmart, or call 865-980-8216. Turn down for what?
3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
While the players are gearing up for the gridiron, it's time for you to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Peter Millar, and all of those retro logos you love. And the 2 for $28 t-shirt deal? Game changer. And don't forget about the rest of your game day crew. There are plenty of options for the entire family and to upgrade that tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com. It's football time in Tennessee.
In debt? In too deep? Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union says, stop treading water and get out of the deep end. If you've got debt, make a splash and come get some cash. If Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union can refinance your car, boat, camper, motorcycle, credit cards, personal or home loan, they'll pay you up to $500. So come take the plunge right now. Refinance your loans. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union will pay you. 5 convenient locations. Visit atfcu.com. Equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com.
Hour 3 here on the Swain event is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com, reinventing men's healthcare. Let's get to Sam on the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Sam, good morning.
Swaino, what's up?
What's up, Sam?
Long-time listener. I don't get a chance to call you really, but and then y'all answered one of my first question was what was the announced attendance?
Yeah, I saw 88,000.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I saw that in there, but, I woke up and saw that boat burning, and I got a bad feeling in my stomach as soon as I saw that. He lets these guys come into practice, the media, for how long has it been? How much practice do y'all get to watch?
It varies day to day. Some days it's 7 to 8 minutes. Some days it's 3 minutes.
So 3 to 8 minutes of practice y'all get to see.
Yep.
And I guess that's the reason behind that, because, there's been a comment made about their laziness of the coaching staff. I just don't understand how this is your first game. You've had all fall camp, and you come out and just get manhandled by a Sunbelt team like that. I mean, it was a whole game. What did they rush for? How many yards?
Too many.
Oh, I got it right here. I know it's over 200, that's for sure. Let's see. 240. 53 attempts, 240 rushing yards.
And we had under 100?
31 attempts, 133.
And
we netted 93, though.
And Andy Staples put out a story this morning, or maybe it was David Ubben. One of the Athletic guys put out a story. I guess they talked to Sean Elliott since the game was over, and apparently Sean Elliott wrote on a whiteboard at the beginning of the week that Georgia State will hold Tennessee under 100 yards, and by God, what did they do? Held Tennessee under 100 rushing yards. That should never happen against a 2-win football team from last year.
Well, and he also said that they could line up and run the same play and go down the field on them, which is basically what they did.
It looked like it.
They did exactly what they said they were going to do.
And
going back and look at the rushing, Tennessee, because I'm looking at UT Sports stats, ESPN stats, net rushing 93 rushing yards for Tennessee. Georgia State 213. 213, 93.
When he got here, and the first comment, or he talked about the spring game last year, was upset about the fan base not showing up, and he goes out and beats Auburn last year, and then they fall on their face towards the end of the year when they had a chance to really make some progress. And then you come out here and give us this performance against Georgia State and lose probably the worst loss in the history of the program. It's just hard to fathom how bad that is and how bad we looked and I'll say this, getting pushed back by Georgia State team. And I'll make 2 comments and I'll get off of here. This is the first game. I'm not going to write off the season yet. But if this is any indication of what we're going to, unless they lights flips on, to get pushed back by that team and to get pushed off the ball and shoved and just embarrassed, what's going to happen when we get up against an offense or a line from the SEC and even the BYU? And in the most important position on the field, Swain, I know y'all back Garantano. But really that first play was an interception. He threw that ball out there. He just got to toss it out there. He rifled it in there, and it was really a pick. He bobbled the ball, and then the kid picked it out of the air. That's a pick. That's one he threw in the end zone. Luckily, they called that pass interference, but he threw it right to the guy. He threw it right to the Georgia State guy over there in the corner. And when he rolled out on the one before that, or the one after that, when he rolled out, he had that guy wide open in the end zone, and he overthrew him.
Correct. I feel like I've been fair to Jared Garantano. And I felt like in last season, 2017, there was a lot of things that were not in place around him that forced him not to be better than what he was on Saturday. Saturday with Jim Chaney, with him being the starting quarterback for a third year, him not playing up to the level he needs to play at. I've also felt like I've been fair to Jared too by saying he's not been good. Now, the first play of the game, or the second play of the game, if you want to say that he could have took something off of it, I have no problem with that. But I will say Ty Chandler is a guy who can catch the football, and he should have caught that football. He took his eyes off of the football. That's what he did. So I think sometimes people pile on Jared, and Jared deserves a lot of blame. But Ty took his eyes off the ball. It would be one thing if he didn't take his eyes off the ball and he dropped it, but he did not look the ball all the way in. Ty returns kicks. He returns punts. He can catch the football. He dropped it. It was a pass hit him right in the chest. That pass has to be hard because we got to get it out there. He's basically doing a bubble route. He's running towards the line of scrimmage. We got to get out there quick. So I don't have a problem with that throw. But if you want to say he should have took something off of it, that's cool. That's your opinion. I respect that. But he should have caught it, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Got to catch that football.
Yeah. But the interception before the half, inexcusable, terrible decision. Did he see the guy? Did he not see the guy? I don't know. Don't care. But it was a bad throw. There's no defense of that.
Stared down the wide receiver. It was just
bad.
all around bad.
It was bad.
That is probably the worst decision he has ever made at Tennessee. That I can think of off the top of my head.
It was bad. Who's next?
Nathan on line 2.
Nathan, good morning.
Good morning, Swain.
Good morning.
Man, I wish that I could listen this morning and feel better, but I don't think any of us are going to feel better at all. Unfortunately, the rest of the season, but
not unless you win, man. You got there to win. This loss stinks, but we're projecting what's going to happen in the future when we don't really know. This team, they are 4-point favorites. I don't know how, but they can go to work this week. They could absolutely go out there and win the football game. So what they did, good or bad, on Saturday, does not mean that they're going to. It does not automatically mean that they're going to go out there for the rest of the season and play good or bad. Each week is its own week. So I don't want that message to be shared from this show. The season's not over with. It feels like it, but it's not over. They still have a chance to go out there and win. Until they do it, we got to expect that.
Yeah. Well, listen, Swain, I want to say the last of the season last year, when the effort was so bad, I was just like, man, they can't even play hard. But then you start hearing everybody, well, a lot of those players were Butch's players. They weren't bought in and all that. And then Saturday, to me, the energy was even worse. I mean, like, I understand you not getting up maybe at the end of the year because a bunch of things are going wrong. This is the first game of the year. Everybody's on the same page. Nobody's won, nobody's lost. This is your chance to make a statement. And we come out and have no energy whatsoever. And, I mean, look, we can put it on the players. You can do whatever. But to me, it's Pruitt's job to get them at a place where they're ready to play. And I don't think he did that. And, look, I've been all bought in on Pruitt. I like Pruitt. But after Saturday, man, that's just inexcusable, the effort. And I guess the thing that makes me more mad than anything and why, like, fans, like, man, for me, we drive 5 hours every week to the game. Well, I mean, we're spending money to get a motel and everything else, and just like others do. And then you show up, and you can't even play hard. I mean, man, my kids, my boys love football. And my son, who is 13, looked at me Saturday, Dad, I am so tired of this. And he doesn't even want to go Saturday. He doesn't even want to go to the BYU game because they can't even play hard. He plays for his junior high team. He says, Dad, we play as hard as we can every game, and they're walking around. They have no energy. And it just makes no sense, Wayne. Like, I can't even comprehend how you couldn't be excited to play a football game in front of as many people there Saturday. I mean, it just I just can't comprehend it. And look, I hope you're right. I hope they play better Saturday, but they have given me zero optimism on why I should be excited about going Saturday and watching the crap that I watched this Saturday.
I don't know if they're going to play. I don't know if they're going to play better. I'm saying we can't sit here and say that they're not or that they are. We just can't sit here and say they're going to lose the rest of their games or play the same way they played Saturday. I don't know how they're going to play. I don't know.
Well, one of the biggest things I felt like, and you may disagree, I felt like the coaches thought this game was just going to be a complete cakewalk. And then they start rotating offensive linemen like it's musical chairs.
Yeah.
And then they can't block anybody with the best five they got in there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, how in the world can they get in a rhythm when they're taking somebody out every other play? I mean, it was just mind-boggling watching it. And but anyway, Swain, thanks for all you do, man. Enjoy the show. Just had to vent frustration.
Hey, man, I understand. I completely get it. I know, and I said this at the start of the show, we're emotional, and we're going to say some things that we may not mean. We may say some things that we do mean. I think projecting what's going to happen for the rest of the season based on this one game, when everything went wrong, let's keep in mind, everything went wrong. You had poor effort. You had poor execution. You had lack of adjustments being made by coaching staff. Like, everything went wrong. To expect for that to happen each game, I just think that's emotion talking. I really do.
Yeah, and Nathan is talking about his son recognizing that the team did not have any energy.
That's sad.
It absolutely sad. And
Almost
he's
cried.
100% right. And then Drew on the text box says he sat behind the bench on Saturday. Absolutely zero sense of urgency from players or coaches. You don't recover from that kind of loss in year two. But on his point about absolutely zero sense of urgency from players or coaches, going back and watching the broadcast, it was going to the fourth quarter. End of the third quarter happens, and you know, teams always put up the four little fingers and whatnot, signaling the start of the fourth quarter. Ryan Leaf, stating the obvious, but still on national television, sits there and says, Georgia State is all fired up. Tennessee's just doing nothing on the sidelines. I don't remember what he said word for word, but something along those lines. It was absolutely true.
Tennessee did not show the same juice as Georgia State entering the fourth quarter.
They were juiceless.
No juice.
Entering the game, going into the fourth quarter, and that is, in my mind, the most concerning part about this entire ordeal. You are flat, no energy, don't even know where to line up game one against a previously 2-10 opponent.
And another thing?
That is concerning.
They were gassed. Effort was poor, but they were gassed. There were guys with hands on their hips.
With rotation.
They were gassed.
Usually are in first game of the season, though.
Georgia State wasn't.
Hey, Georgia State had the ball for a lot longer. They had long drives. First game of the season, I don't care who you playing. Defensively, if you're on the field a long time, you're going to be gassed. I'm not going to look at Craig Fitzgerald on this one.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it's fault, but Georgia State only held the ball for 1 minute more than Tennessee did.
They still ran the ball up and down the field.
I get it.
So
I'm saying I'm not blaming Craig Fitzgerald. I'm just saying I don't think the players' conditioning isn't as far along as we expected for it to be. There was a lot of talk about the players completely rebuilding their bodies and losing a ton of weight and adding a lot of muscle. And I'm not blaming Craig Fitzgerald, but I think that may have been overblown.
I think if you saw cramping, that is an indication of being out of shape. When you play your first game of the season, it doesn't matter how much you run during the summer. It doesn't matter how much you run in fall camp. You're not going to be as in football shape as you are in October and November.
Didn't Jarrell Taylor go down with a cramp at one point?
Yes. I don't know.
He got shaken up, and it looked like a cramp on TV.
So if you had like a team full of guys cramping, then I'm looking at conditioning. I'm looking at other things. But the fact that guys were just fatigued first game of the season, hey, man, it's part of it. We played Cal the first drive. I was gassed. First drive of the game.
Adrenaline,
first game of the season. And it wasn't hot as it was out there. I just think it's too early to maybe question our conditioning, if that makes sense.
I don't think they're as far along as we thought they were going to be.
I mean, that's fair to say.
And to your point about it being the first game of the year, what also doesn't help is that, and you kind of talked about this earlier, it doesn't help that teams aren't really going through as much contact in fall camp as they used to. But as you said earlier in the show, this week, I don't care if we're playing a big physical BYU team on Saturday, passion needs to be restored in these players.
Yeah.
And you need to find that mental toughness, and the only way to do that, in my mind, you may know better than me, but is to go through physical practices this week in practice.
If we saw effort, we wouldn't be talking about how they look gassed because they would play through that. They're no different than any other team that's played their first game of the season. You're going to be gassed at times, especially if you on the football field on defense and the offense started their drive at the 20-yard line and you can't get off the field, you're going to be gassed running 10 straight plays in a row. That's just how it is. But the difference between what we saw Saturday and other teams, mental toughness and guys taking pride in their work. You can be gassed, but people may not know it. The body language, guys walking, guys jogging, that's what makes us pay attention to the conditioning and point out maybe the lack thereof because the guys showed poor effort. They made Craig Fitzgerald look worse than really what he was because they quit.
Saying. Yes, and
quit.
It doesn't help that Sean Elliott in his postgame is saying, we were well coached. Our strength and conditioning, I thought, was outstanding. It was telling on the football field who was in better shape.
Yeah, I think if Tennessee had a bunch of cramps, things like that, that would be a bigger indicator for me. Mm-hmm. But hey, they may have been in better shape. One thing I do know is we quit and we made them look like they were in better shape than us because of our mental toughness.
Mm-hmm.
We could have been in the best shape ever. Loafing is a mental decision.
Mm-hmm.
You can be Usain Bolt. You can be the best marathon sprinter ever. To go hard is a decision that you make in between your ears and in your chest. That's mental. That's mental and emotional. And they didn't have that on Saturday. That's what I'm saying. More than anything else. Who's next?
We've got Evan.
Evan, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Evan.
Yeah, I don't even know really where to start. I mean, this reminds me of like Butch Jones-esque level problems under the hood that we don't know about. Like the last 3 games, blitzed by Missouri and Vanderbilt, and you come out looking like this. Like it looks like the team has quit. It looks like they don't care. It looks like there's no leadership. I mean, everyone's making the comparison of Garantano, and you know what? I did say his name wrong. He doesn't deserve today to have his name said right. I'm sorry. He said.
Come on, man. Let's not be disrespectful. His name is his name.
He said that he was not too good and not too bad, and people are comparing that to what Jalen Hurts said last night. I'll make another comparison. Look at Tim Tebow at the 2006 season when they lost to Ole Miss, and he comes out on the podium. He's in tears. He's slamming the microphone, saying, "This will never happen again on my watch. We're going to go to work," and there's no reaction like that. I mean, not too bad, not too good. Like, yeah, this is the guy that's really going to put the team on his back and carry him through that. Like, it's a joke. The guy slid before he reached the first down. To me, that's the play that was. I was like, nope, I'm done. This is ridiculous. And you know, speaking of saying your name wrong, like, do you think a quarterback like Baker Mayfield would let people say his name wrong for 3 years before they finally come out and correct him?
Now, that's a problem. That's a problem for me. I do agree with you on that, but I will say I think that now that we know his name, I think he deserves to have his name said right. Number one. Number two, him sliding on second down, that's what he was told to do. So we have to understand that.
It's a smart thing to do.
It's second
it's
down.
in the first half of your
down.
first game, and you have zero depth behind JG.
Like we can jump on JG
at all.
Yeah, we can jump on JG by a lot of things. That's fair, but the slide, come on, man. I mean,
come on, y'all.
Yeah, I wouldn't jump on him on that one. If it was third down or fourth down and he slid like Cam Newton in Super Bowl and fumbled and then didn't recover it, I would question heart. I would question desire. I would question effort. But the young man's doing what he's told to do, and that is take care of yourself. When you do run, slide. It's second down.
In the first half.
Yeah, I think that's a little unfair.
We've been talking a lot about getting guys into the game and getting them playing experience and getting them reps. While that was nice and all of an idea going into the game, they didn't even get the two most important people on the team reps, and that was J.T. Shrout and Brian Maurer. Those two guys needed reps more than any other position on the team. Because people don't want to believe it. There's a drop-off from JG to Shrout and Maurer. And at some point, history tells us, based off JG's 2 years of starting in the past, history tells us that he's going to get hurt, he's going to miss time. And one of those guys is going to have to go in and play, and neither one of them have playing experience. Those were the two guys you had to get playing time on Saturday.
Pruitt said they were going to play in his press conference leading into the week.
Yep, and you couldn't do it because of how the game unfolded.
Past him.
It's a reason why Tennessee had a chance to sign 2 quarterbacks this year, folks. It's a reason because those senior quarterbacks in high school saw an opportunity for themselves to play because no one had grabbed the job like Jake Fromm grabbed the job his freshman year. You know, Jared was was the best option, but he hasn't taken a job and said, okay, no one has a chance to get this job on my team or anyone else's team right now. Jared has not done that yet.
I know these are big names that I am about to throw out, but hopefully you get the point. If there was a Trevor Lawrence, a Tua Tagovailoa, I'll even say Justin Fields, a Jake Fromm, that type of freshman on this team, we would definitely have a quarterback debate this week going into week 2.
I still don't know if I'm there yet, but I understand where you're coming from.
But if you had that type of talent,
yes.
I'm saying essentially what I'm saying is JG is lucky he doesn't have a big time talent behind him on the depth chart right now, or else we would be having a quarterback conversation going into week 2.
If Harrison Bailey was on the roster right now and Jared played the way he played, Saturday, then if I'm a coach, I may be talking about opening it up.
Yep.
But you don't want what happened in 2013, which you had a quarterback competition. You go down to Florida with the new quarterback, and then you completely just fall on your face. So
you pull a Peterman.
Again, Jared's your quarterback, whether you like it or not. He gives Tennessee the best chance to win. He did not play well enough on Saturday to win. He may think he did. I don't think he did, and that's fine.
I don't think he will when he goes back and watches the game.
Yeah, he didn't play well enough. He is when you are a freshman quarterback, that performance is okay. Mm-hmm. But when you are a fourth-year quarterback and a 3-year starter, and you are a captain who's been selected to go down and represent Tennessee at SEC Media Days, that is not good enough.
And his play on the field wasn't even the most disappointing part for me. It was the emotion showed throughout the game and his comments after the game that was the most disappointing. I do wish JG would have had a Tim Tebow-esque moment following the game.
My question is, how much are we talking about the quarterback play if the defense knows how to line up, if the defense can stop a nosebleed, if the defense can contain any type of Georgia State
that's true.
approach? Are we talking about the quarterback as much then?
That's the most important thing right now. but we can't get lost in the minutia of talking about the quarterback. When the defensive front is the most important thing, the effort is the most important thing, the lack of adjustments made in the second half is the most important thing. Georgia State came out in the first drive of the second half and marched right down the field. And one of those plays during that drive is the play that I put on Twitter, which when we had 5 or 6 guys either walking, jogging, or have completely stopped. That is the first drive out from the locker room. So what the hell is being said in the locker room? You should have played with your hair on fire the first possession of the third quarter.
Embarrassing.
That's the problem. But we want to get lost in the sauce having a whole show about Jared. Yeah. And again,
because
Jared didn't play his best. He didn't play his best, but there's other problems that's bigger than Jared's play right now.
There's
other problems.
Too many fires.
It is. All right, let's go back to the phone.
We got Devante.
Devante, good morning.
Good morning.
What's up, man?
How y'all doing this morning? I see y'all all fired up, man.
I'm good, man. I'm good, actually. I'm better than what I thought I would be.
But no, man, to speak on something being said and actually what y'all talking about now, man, look, man. Everybody want to blame it on Jared, but look, what's done in the dark going to come to the light. And what I see is from, not just Twitter, because this internet is an evil place, and these young boys still don't quite know how to grasp the internet. Like Ben said, he seen some players after the game laughing and smiling. Let me tell you something. I seen some players on Instagram, on their Instagram account, and a lot of players got their Instagram account blocked private, I done seen players after the game smiling, going to, it looked like a party or something. I seen a couple players after the game talking stuff like that. I seen 2 exact players. I ain't going to say no name. I'm going to let it unfold. But I seen 2 exact players, one on offense, one on defense. No, matter of fact, I'm lying. I seen 2 players and both of them were on offense. One is a receiver, one is a lineman. I ain't going to say no names, though. But I seen 2 players on their Instagram account make it seem like they might enter the transfer portal. They ready to leave because they butt hurt because they didn't play, which I feel them, they should be able to play because it's people on the roster should have been able to play the way we played, but it didn't happen like that. But, man, it's a couple guys on that team just don't get what Tennessee is, man. And that's just the bottom line, man. It's like people mad at the wrong people.
Devante.
Yes, sir.
If you going to transfer, but don't get on here throwing out, subtweets because you want attention. Like, if you gonna leave, leave. Like that's the thing I hate. You gonna announce what you're gonna do. I'm thinking about transferring, so someone can talk you out of it. If you're gonna transfer, just transfer. Why put that on social media? Like,
man,
these dudes kill me with that stuff,
they
man.
Ain't built like we was built
yeah,
back in the
dude.
day.
If you're gonna leave, have a private conversation and then transfer. Cool, whatever. That's fine. I understand. If you put in the work, you feel like you should have played. You feel like guys played in front of you that shouldn't. I understand that. That's fair. But to throw out some sub tweet or some little message, some secret message on Twitter just so you can get attention, I think it's a weak move, man. I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of it.
Me too, man. We have a lot of fans that jump down these players' throats, but something, man. Woo, it's kind of hard not to sometimes at these guys. I don't do it, because, I have a daughter and she going to get older one day and I don't want nobody jumping down her throat, a grown man or woman. But, woo, man, I tell you, some of these boys just ain't built tough, man. They prima donnas, and a couple of these guys are from the Bush regime, man, and some of these guys just don't get it, don't want to get it.
That's true.
I hate that, I hate that Jawan Jennings and Marquez Callaway and a couple more players can't see 120,000 every Saturday at home. But they can't get there because of the way the team played, and it's a team sport in whole.
Because it needs to be said.
Say it with your chest.
I'm going to say it. It needs to be said. And it's not, I'm not being mean. I'm not being nasty when I say this. But here's the problem. Derek Barnett, Cam Sutton, Josh Dobbs, those are guys that can lead because not only do they make plays, but they do everything right off the football field. We don't have a guy that consistently does both?
Not one that's readily apparent.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Trey Smith is the closest thing to it, but he's on the sideline because of the blood clots. So it's hard to lead from the sideline. It's hard. You got other guys who have made plays on the football field, but they don't do everything right off the football field. So their teammates look at them and go, "Oh, well, you're not doing everything you're supposed to do, but you're still playing, so why should I?" That's the issue. See, when I was coming in, I followed dudes like Kevin Burnett. Kevin Burnett made plays on the football field, and he also handled his business off the football field. Did we have guys that did not handle their business off the football field? Absolutely, we did. But you have to understand something. Our quarterback, Casey Clausen, was a baller, handling his business on the football field, also handling his business off the football field. Kevin Burnett, same way. Kevin Simon, same way. We had a team of guys, Michael Munoz, same way. The problem is you got one or the other. You got guys who do everything off the football field right, but we ain't going to start making plays because you get that credibility, you get that clout when you make plays. Juwan balled out Saturday. There's no doubt about it. But do you think everybody's listening to Juwan?
No.
As far as what to do off the football field all the time? No, because they look at him and go, "Dude, you ain't a saint either." That's the problem. Who's going to look someone in the eye and go, "Yo, if you don't give 100%, I'm going to slap the blank out of you"? Who can do that?
I almost, Juwan, but like you said, people kind of look at what he does off the field. I almost think that Tennessee football's leadership needs to develop the way Tennessee basketball's leadership developed under Grant Williams and those guys. Grant Williams, Jordan Bone, Admiral Schofield, Kyle Alexander took hold of that leadership as young guys on that basketball team because they didn't have anybody else. They had Kevin Punter, Armani Moore, a guy or two, but really it was Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield, more so Grant Williams from the time he stepped foot on campus. It was Grant Williams. That's what Henry To'o needs to do, Kavaris Crouch needs to do, Wanye Morris, Darnell Wright, all these big-time freshmen, Jeremy Banks, those are the guys that are going to have to take the bull by the horns and rewrite this leadership problem
Alontae Taylor
on the team. Alontae Taylor, those guys.
And here's what makes it worse. You had a big distraction last week. You know, Bryce Thompson put himself in a bad situation. No, I mean we ain't brought that up. We didn't bring it up on TV. You had a big distraction off the football field last week. All this stuff plays into it. We'll go back to the phones after this break. 865-250-503. Hour 3 powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Hey y'all, check it out. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue has a brand new happy hour special right now that you don't want to miss. Get $2 off of their fantastic barbecue queso appetizer from 2 to 4 p.m. That's queso loaded with your choice of pork, chicken, or brisket and served with Frito scoops. And for the rest of the month, check out their new Pig and Peaches salad for $11. This thing is loaded with salad mix, grape tomatoes, fire-roasted peaches, pickled red onions, pork belly burn-ins, goat cheese, and topped with a delicious balsamic vinaigrette. Dead End Barbecue. The barbecue surge is over.
Soreness, bumps, and bruises are a part of everyday life, whether you're a Vol or not. Surgery can be too, even for weekend warriors. Something that can get you back to feeling your best is therapeutic massage. If you've had surgery or are feeling the wear and tear of life, give our friends at In Touch Massage Knoxville a visit. They have a hand-picked staff and offer a clinical focus for folks going through joint replacement and cancer treatment. They serve neurological patients like those being treated for MS, ALS, and Parkinson's. Their staff even includes a lymphedema specialist. Plus, they offer a great relaxation massage. Don't ignore your pain any longer. Let the therapists from In Touch Massage Knoxville help. Located just west of downtown Knoxville at 601 South Concord Street, or find them online at intouchmassagenknoxville.com and on the phone at 865-236-1425.
Due to a special purchase, Beatty Chevrolet has over 100 pre-owned crossovers and SUVs at tremendous savings during the $1 Million Markdown event. 100 crossovers and SUVs from Chevrolet, Ford, Nissan, Volkswagen, Toyota, Honda, Mazda, and more. All makes and models starting at $89.95. And we'll buy your vehicle on the spot. Plus, get the Beatty warranty for life during the $1 Million Markdown. Only at Beatty Chevrolet in Knoxville or shop BeattyChevrolet.com. Sale prices plus tax, title, and license.
Do you want a custom-themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Then look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. All of their bottles and tumblers are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the tumbler market. New this year are their stemless 12-ounce tumblers, perfect for repping your team while enjoying your favorite wine. They also have new 3-in-1 jackets to use as a koozie for a can or bottle, or you can pop a lid on it and use it as a 12-ounce tumbler or coffee cup. Be sure to check out everything Game Time Sidekicks has to offer at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Game Time Sidekicks, helping fans show your colors and carry your team with unique gear you will actually use. We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Going back to the Be Dry Hotline, and we're bringing in Charge of All. Charge of All, good morning.
Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I have been better, but
yeah, I'm with you.
A couple things here. The 3-4 defense, it works when you have linebackers that don't get pushed around by offensive linemen.
It works when people line up right.
We don't have that right now. Yeah, he's going to be good. He needs more time to get bigger. And then we line up 5 wide how many times Saturday? And don't have the speed to take the top off the defense?
We lined up in empty, but we didn't have 5 wide receivers. You had tight ends. You had Eric Gray out there lining up as wide receiver.
Well, I mean, it like I said, I guess just frustrated, sitting there in the stadium like, why? Or, when we had the touchdown, we had 2 tight ends. They couldn't stop it. Run it again.
You know what?
Run it again until they stop it.
That's the knock on Jim Chaney. You know, when things get a little muddy, you know, he'll resort to throwing the football, and that's kind of what happened in the second half. You know, got away from the running game a little bit and just started chunking the ball. I mean, that is a pretty fair criticism of Jim Chaney. It's fair.
But, you know, it's got to get better. I really don't think it can get much worse. These kids nowadays, they don't know how to respond to adversity. I mean, it's the whole entitlement. But it's not going good. You know, it's not my fault. That's what they've been taught all along. When something bad happens, it's not their fault. I mean, even our high school team got down 9-0 and come back. You know, they stayed the course and said, you know what, we're better than this. Some of these guys, Nigel Warrior, I love him. I love the way he hits. But it's just like you said, Swain. It's between the ears for him. It's between the ears for Palmer. It's not clicking with them. I don't know why.
Looking at what you were mentioning, kind of about running the football in the second half, Tennessee's first possession, he had 6 plays, 4 of them were runs, 2 passes. The second possession in the second half, 5 passes, 1 run. Third possession, 3 passes, 1 run. Fourth possession, 4 plays, 4 passes. Your first 4 possessions in the second half, you threw the ball way more times than running the football. And that's the fair criticism of Jim Chaney. I love me some Jim Chaney. I really do. But we saw Jim Chaney do that when he was here in 2012. You know, he'll get past happy. The thing is, in 2012, he had a quarterback and wide out receivers that he can get away with doing that,
and an NFL offensive line.
And he don't have that. He don't have that same personnel with this team.
Because I agree, he definitely went away from the run in the second half, essentially completely, and he should have ran the ball more. But if you go back and watch when Tennessee did run the ball, not one guy, but multiple offensive linemen were just completely either whiffing on their blocks or just flat out getting beat at birth. I mean, it was terrible in the run game.
Blocking air.
Blocking air, literally blocking air. Eric Gray, on a couple of his plays, he's lucky he didn't get tackled in the backfield. Spin move, a cut here or there, and he was able to gain 5 or 6 plays. But he had to make a move in the backfield because literally one of all the offensive linemen played were blocking air, as Brad says. Just completely whiffing, wasn't blocking the right guy, letting guys go by, getting just flat out beat and run over. I mean, it was terrible. So, in a way, I understand why Jim Chaney went away from the run, because it wasn't working. Tennessee's offensive linemen, multiple guys on each run play was just getting beat.
Just can't be one-dimensional.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that point. And Brad, you said it. Once you become one-dimensional and the defense does not have to respect either the run or the pass because you're so predictable doing one or the other, that's when you get in trouble. And that's what happened with Tennessee. They knew we were passing, and they were able to send pressure. We couldn't stop it.
Which is unfortunate because you would think, and Ryan Leaf made this point 1,000 times on the call, and he was absolutely right. With Tennessee's wide receiver room and the way Georgia State defended the pass last year, JG should have thrown for 400 yards, and Tennessee should have won by 2, 3, 4 touchdowns.
Many thought it was a possibility coming in.
Yes.
Only had one 300-yard game in his career, but they were thinking, gosh, this is a great opportunity for him to really go out and put some numbers.
Oh, let me do this before we forget, because folks did not like Jared's comment. Not too good, not too bad. Which, you know, I think he's a little off in his self-evaluation, but he did say, when he was asked on the anticipation of the season and what his emotions are right now, he says, "I'm disgusted, to be honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm really upset right now, and I'm pissed. Why shouldn't we be? We lost the game. Going into the season, we had high expectations, and none of those expectations go away. A lot of teams lose their first game, and they go on and so on and so on. We have to go back to the drawing board, do a lot of film study, and just clean it up." So let's not frame it like JD didn't care. He did say that he was pissed. Yeah. But his self-evaluation was a little off. That doesn't mean he don't care. That just means that
it was off.
Yeah, he thought a little bit more of his performance than we did.
Right. Assuming Tennessee lets him speak to the media on Tuesday, which surely they will, I will be interested to see how he reevaluates his performance, because I'll be quite honest. Watching the game live, I got caught up in JG's stats. Well, he completed 65% of his passes, threw for over 300 yards, tossed 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good on the surface. So I actually texted Swain and was like, yo, I don't think JG played that bad. I didn't think he played good, but I didn't necessarily think he played bad. And then I went back and I rewatched the game and wrote down all of his mistakes, and it was definitely a bad performance. So I wonder if he almost did the same thing to where just coming off the field, it kind of felt like it wasn't a bad game. It wasn't a good game either. I will be interested to see how he reevaluates himself after going back and watching the film, because when I did, I saw a whole lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I got the conversation right here. You was like, am I crazy thinking JG didn't play bad today? I don't think he was great or anything. I just don't think he was bad. And I responded last night, I was like, I think he was. And you were like, think he was bad? I go for a junior quarterback? Yes.
Yeah, and that was on Saturday night. I went back and watched the game thoroughly yesterday. Yeah. And, I mean, I have it all right here. I'm not going to list them all out. But you go back and you kind of write down all the mistakes he had. He had a bad game.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if JG kind of had that same mindset to where coming off the field, it didn't feel like a bad performance, but then he goes back and watches it on tape, and it absolutely is.
This is why Coach Fulmer, when he was coaching, would say, when he was asked a question about a performance, this is why he would say, I gotta check the tape.
I'm gonna go home, watch film.
This is why.
I'm gonna work like heck to get better, boys.
You know, people made jokes about it, made fun of him for not knowing what everyone was doing in the course of a football game, not knowing everyone's play, and knowing the grade right on the spot. It's why you have to go back and watch the film. It's why Coach Fulmer said that. So I hope people understand that. All right, let's go to the phones. We got 2 or 3 callers, and we got about 9 minutes. So let's ride.
We got Clint.
Clint, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Clint.
How y'all doing this morning? I got 2 quick things, man.
Okay.
For one, I watched that Harrison Bailey of the Marietta game. Let me tell you something. That dude is the truth.
He a stud.
Every pass that was missed, they dropped that ball.
Yep.
I watched every bit of that. Man, that dude is an animal. He's a freak. Oh, and he can't move. Let me tell you something. He scrambled maybe 2 or 3 times that game, and he did exactly what he needed to do to make sure his offense stayed on the field. B.J. Ojolari is unblockable. He is. I mean, we're playing the number 11 ranked team in the nation. These guys are, and they are freaks, son. They are freak athletes. Now, I'm going to get off of that because I went to that game, and thank God I had my daughter with me, and she was burning up, and I had to take her home because I was absolutely sick. But I started reevaluating that game in my head. I played football my whole life. Had aspirations, got in trouble, couldn't play. But let me tell you something. What that looked like to me, and we did it at Summerville High School my freshman year, it looked like these guys was too worried about not doing something wrong and didn't know what to do right. They was, I hate to say it, but I don't know if it can be possible or not, but it was like there was too much competition. We need guys that have unity, that can get on this field, and they practice every day as the one, and they know who is being held accountable. They know who to hold accountable, and we need leaders. And until we find that, and this is just like the West Virginia game last year, after we started getting our starters in and they started getting that unity, we had a football team. Until we get that, man, we're going to have a long season. A long season.
Yeah. I appreciate the phone call. You can never have too much competition, but the coach's job is to identify who is best and roll with those guys. When you play musical chairs with the offensive line, it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing because of continuity, because the guys not getting in the rhythm. We saw it backfire on Saturday. So I don't think there's ever a moment where, like, competition is bad. You want to compete at every single thing that you do. All right, who's next?
We've got Rod in Kentucky.
Rod, good morning.
How's it going, fellas?
Hey, Rod, man, it's good to hear from you again.
Hey, likewise. So I'm a head coach of a middle school football team. Dude, our first 4 games stacked. First 2 games we come out. We don't play well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, team looks gas. I go back and look at the film. I'm like, man, is it the way we coached it or is it the effort? Dude, I go back and look. I'm like, I got to do a better job of getting these dudes prepared for the game, fired up. We got a tough schedule. Like, I'm coming out on fire ripping these dudes. We had a 4-day turnaround for our third game. Dude, best 3 days of practice we ever had. We went out and we dominated a team that was on the level of the first two teams. This past week, we have a game, and like one of the things in being a PE teacher and being a coach, you have to be able to understand body language. You have to understand when you're about to lose the players, you're about to lose people in the classroom. And, like, we're out for warm-up, and I get this sense. I'm like, man, if I don't do something, we're about to get smoked by 50. And I call them into the locker room, and, man, there was furniture moving. I'm like, dude, y'all are about to go out here and get your teeth kicked in. You better get your mind right. You better grow a set here over the next 8 minutes, or you about to get smoked. And, man, I walked out of that locker room. Team had a little talk. We come out, and, shoot, first half, we absolutely dominate. Probably the best team in Central Kentucky. And we had an awesome game against them. And I had parents and coaches come up to me after the game like, man, if you hadn't done what you did, your team would have got dominated. And so we sit down Saturday, me and my wife, to watch the game. And I watched Tennessee come out of the huddle. I'm like, hey, Rachel, let me just tell you, I'd be surprised if Tennessee's up by a touchdown at halftime. I said, look at their body language. Look at Georgia State's body language. Georgia State's ready to play. I don't care that Tennessee is, one of the greatest football traditions of all time.
Don't matter.
That was back in the Swain days.
Don't matter.
That was back in, like, dude, you got to come out and play the game. And as coaches, you have to be able to sense, like, oh, my gosh, I'm losing the team. We got to do something, like, right now, or we're about to put up a loss of epic proportions. And I really don't think Pruitt has his thumb on being able to understand you can say all the right things, but, man, words, if your walk don't match your talk, like, you're not going to produce well on the football field. And I can just tell, man, body language-wise, this team is like shell-shocked right now.
Yeah, Saturday was not good, Rod. Saturday was not good. Pruitt did not do his best job at all on Saturday. And that's why today is so important. It's all about today. Practice, where's the leaders? They're going to follow their head coach. The head coach has to set the tone today. It needs to be a physical practice. It needs to be a practice with unbelievable effort, and you can't settle for anything else. Pruitt needs to send dudes to the locker room today. Like, to the locker room. Send them inside if you're not giving unbelievable effort. Let's go back to the phones.
We've got Ricky B.
Ricky B, good morning.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, man. Good. How are you?
Hey, not too bad. Anyway.
It's okay.
All I got to say, you guys, I kind of made a list because this is my first time calling in to your show, and I love you guys, but just trying to stay on
we love you
track
too.
Here. So the first thing is effort. We've covered that. I'm not going to bring it up anymore. Rotating an offensive line. My question is, Cheney was here before. I've never seen him do that. I'm just wondering who helped decide that.
Decide what with Cheney?
Not just Cheney, the rotating the offensive line. And I've never seen it done like we did the other day. And when Cheney was here before, I don't remember that ever happening.
Well, you had an NFL offensive line. I mean, those spots were solidified. No one's going to, you didn't have a question about who your top 5 offensive lineman was then. Now you have the question. So, I mean, it's understandable why you would do a rotation. It just backfired. It backfired. That's what happened.
Okay. Another thing, I saw a lot of tweets about the student section not being full the other day. I really think we have a generation lost of Vol fans.
Yes.
If you build it, they will come. I really think that this generation is a little different than we have been in the past, just sometimes with the way that they think. And I don't see why I would go to a game if I was a student right now. Another thing is I noticed where my seats are, it's right next to the coaching box. So when I was in line to go in the game, both Cheney and T were in the box. I'm wondering what you think about that, having both past passing guys up in the box versus having one of them on the field to kind of talk to the players when they're coming off.
Well, here's the thing. You got your associate head coach in T. Martin, and you have probably the best guy for Pruitt, someone who's coached 25 years in college football, Chaney. They're in the box. They're not on the sideline actually helping Pruitt. Maybe we see a change. Maybe we see, somebody else go to the box and somebody else come down, I don't know, to try to help with the feel on offense or defense. That's a adjustment that is, I think, definitely willing. It deserves attention and deserves a conversation. Jim Chaney, for all that I've seen, I've always seen him in the box.
Yes.
Maybe
that's where he's most comfortable.
Yeah, maybe that's where he is best. But I think Ricky is right about the generational Vol fan.
Oh, he's absolutely right.
I mean, if you're a student, why would you go to the game when you can chill out in your dorm room and go to the bar and go pick up some?
And I think it's all about winning, because you look at the basketball. Look at the basketball games. Student section is rocking.
Yeah.
And what's the basketball team doing? Winning. Once Tennessee football starts winning, they'll show back up.
I don't want to hear from the players this week. Coach only. That's what I want.
I want to hear from JG.
Yeah.
I need more accountability.
I want to hear from the players. I want to hear from everybody, because everybody is responsible. Everyone is at fault. It's not one side or the other. It's everyone. Everyone that wears their power tee, either on their chest as a polo or on their helmet as a player, everyone's responsible. Everyone is under fire, and I think that's the fair way to do it. Everyone has to go out and get it done. And it starts today at practice. Tomorrow, 7 a.m., we'll be back to talk about today's practice. For Ben McKee, Brad Matthews, I'm Jason Swain. Peace and love.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers?